my party. We're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare.
Just keep fighting, each and every game because it's any given Sunday.
Welcome to Mustard Cat Sports, folks. I'm a little hyped. I'm a little excited. It was a fantastic Super Bowl. I couldn't ask for anything better. And I was a bit skeptical, a bit like, oof, something might happen. The Chiefs might win this. It's going to be disgusting, blah, blah, blah. But let's get into it. We got two guests, and one of them is a returning guest, and the other one is a new guest. So we're going to start with a new guest. Mike, thanks for coming on. How's it feel?
Appreciate you
How does it feel
having me on.
How does it feel to be an Eagles fan for one day?
I mean, after that game, I just got to say, if you don't believe in God, maybe it's time to reconsider. Because denying a Chiefs three-peat is probably the best I felt all year.
All right. Well, let's get you warmed up, and then we'll get our second guest in here. All right, Mike. Where are you from, and are you still living in that location?
Yeah, so originally grew up like kind of west burbs, west side Chicago, if you will. Depends on where you're looking. But Elmwood Park, big Bears fan. Let's get the merch in here because
Yeah.
it's been a minute since we've been able to represent these colors on a Super Bowl Sunday here. But let's get a quick little piece in there. And here we are living in good old rural Wisconsin and Boston in the 608, behind enemy lines for quite some time now.
So you're saying you're not a big Packers fan anymore, or never?
Well, I'll tell you this. I've been to one NFL game in my life. It was a Packer-Patriots game, and I showed up wearing a orange Urlacher jersey with my face painted because fuck the Packers. Respectfully.
I can respect that. So obviously we know you watch sports. What sports do you watch regularly? Obviously football. Anything else?
Oh yeah. I mean, football is definitely the big one. That's just the American tradition of following the gridiron. NBA close second. I mean, it's been crazy the last few weeks with some of these trades. Some of them have just been fucking idiotic to say the least. Others have been, I mean, at least somewhat beneficial. But yeah, and then we probably got hockey as a close third. I mean, big Blackhawks fan, but let's talk about what we're here for today. The big one, the big Super Bowl, the big. Man, I just can't get over it. It just feels so good to just deny a Chiefs three-peat.
Hey, why don't you calm down a sec? We got to wait till we get into that, okay? Let's start off with, did you play some sports when you were a young child? And if you did, what did you play? And then,
yeah,
and then, do you play anything now, or do you want to play anything, amateur-wise?
very, very good questions. So I will say this: when I was growing up, I did wrestling and football.
Okay.
Football was a little different back in Illinois because they did it off of your weight, and I was a giant, fat fucking kid. I'm just gonna put it bluntly. So me in I think 8 years old, I was playing with freshmen in high school. Because I was that size, the mental capacity was just not there. So, man, I won't even bullshit. I was getting killed out on the field there. It was quite entertaining to watch for probably every other parent, but my parents probably not so much.
Okay.
Wrestling though, big wrestling household. So me and the siblings were all wrestlers, and yeah, that's about it, man. You pick up games of basketball here and there. Gonna be 30 here in a couple months. Not a spring chicken anymore. Gotta watch.
Watch out for this old man.
Oh, right. No, I still feel semi young.
Okay, well, these two questions will really put you in your place right now. And that's no pun intended, right now. Gun to your head, you got to choose one of these two. Are you a dog person or a cat person?
Oh, see, now I'll tell you this. This is kind of where we get into this because if it's me owning one or the other, cat, dude. Because a cat is probably just gonna treat me like shit a little bit, and it's like a shitty roommate. It'll be like, hey, what's going on? Fuck yourself, and then just go retire to the corner. And like I love dogs too. Nothing against dogs, but I like that energy like elsewhere, like not in my home.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay. Well, here's your other one, pal. Um, you can only have this condiment your rest of your life starting right now. Ketchup or
Let's do it.
mustard. Ketchup or mustard.
Oh, dude, you gotta do mustard because shout out to anybody who grew up in the Chicago area. It's a cardinal sin to like put some ketchup on a dog. I mean, you gotta like tweak out, pull the blinds back a little bit, make sure no one's watching, creep to the fridge, maybe open a safe or two, pull out the Heinz and dip a little.
All right. Hey, uh, I'll accept both those because mustard cats loves a good mustard cats.
Ah,
You
I
know.
mean, you gotta have a good mustard. It's tradition.
Um, well, Mike, you are joined with Sam, who is
The Sam, absolutely.
a part of the mustard cats here. And Sam, I believe this is your third time on. I could be wrong, but I believe it's your third time. So, welcome back.
Thank you.
You know,
I think it's the fourth time
oh, it's fourth time. Might.
because I think the last time you were at my house and we did a live podcast, I think that was the fourth.
Ooh, you're right. You're very right on that. Yeah. Um, well,
So happy to be back and happy to be a part of a nice little podcast to talk about some
what?
Super Bowl stuff going
Why
on.
don't before we get into the nitty gritty, the good stuff, why don't you tell me? Would you rather lose both your arms or both your legs for the rest of your life?
Since I'm a big leg day guy in the gym, I'm fine using my traps to hold the barbell up still to still get my squats in. So I'll keep my legs. I like to run around. I don't really need my arms.
That a guy. As he takes a sip of his Miller with his arm.
I don't want to sit in a chair for the rest of my life, and that's why I work in a body
No, I
shop.
get it.
If I didn't have any legs, I couldn't paint my cars anymore. So
Hey,
True.
hey,
These are the questions we need to ask.
hey,
actually,
piece of
I
that,
take
buddy.
that back. I wouldn't be able to paint cars without arms, so I would just have to find a new job.
You're
I
effed
mean,
in the
he
A,
could be.
Cotton. You're effed in the A.
That would be pretty cool to see, like make videos for content in a paint booth and spraying
With
spraying
your
cars in a wheelchair. That'd be actually
Yeah.
pretty cool.
with
With
your
your
toes?
toes, man.
Yeah, that would be good.
You're like wheeling back and forth.
Oh,
Wait. Could you do that with your toes like this? I don't know if you could.
I'm sure someone could figure it out. It'd take a lot of practice.
Yeah. And you could have the time to do that, pal.
you're gonna be a
I would just have
pioneer
to
soon.
hire. I would have to hire one of my buddies to like do the camera work, and then maybe he can hold my back as my feet are in the air spraying the guns.
That's a 2-for-1 deal. Great.
Exactly.
Thanks. Well, let's get into it. It was Super Bowl Sunday. It was supposed to be a three-peat kind of Chiefs Super Bowl. Didn't happen. Those Chiefs didn't even show up. Actually, it was more like the refs didn't show up because guess what? Um, the refs tried to help them out in the very, very beginning on I think it was the second play. Not in the
Yeah.
series.
The wide receiver looked like this.
Yeah.
That guy touched his face like this, and then he had like a little headbutt thing like this, and there was a flag.
Little
I
baby
thought that
face
was
wipe.
actually the beginning of the end of the game.
Yeah.
Same. Got it. Yep.
So, uh, Eagles ran away with it, and that was great, awesome. I loved it, everything about it. Um, I know Sam has some thoughts.
Lots.
Let's start off with Mike, and then we'll rotate up. Mike, what are your quick thoughts on the game? Like when someone's like, "What was the Super Bowl like?"
Well, I would say it was kind of something like a divine ray of heaven parting from the skies and showering us all who aren't part of the Chiefs Nation. Fuck the Chiefs. So yeah, I mean that's just to put it simply, but I will agree. I mean, definitely it was nice to see a game where the refs didn't play too much of an advantageous position in the game. Super awesome. Yeah, that first call, man. Just, I mean, I get it. If we're gonna be technical, yeah, sure, it was a penalty, but I think it was even Brady that called it. It's one of those calls like let him play, man. We barely breathed on him. You know what I mean? I mean, I even wrote a list down of some questionable calls along the way. I mean, I only had like four the whole game, to be fair. So, I mean, that's definitely been a sizable difference compared to what I have been seeing this postseason.
Yeah. Uh, that. Yeah, I very much agree with that. Sam, do you have anything to add on that?
Well, going back 2 years ago when they faced off, um, again, there was a lot of bad calls in that last Super Bowl that they played against.
Hmm?
But this was like a total redemption game for Jalen Hurts. It even goes back to him having his screensaver of him walking off the field after the loss 2 years ago, and he basically used that for motivation to get back to this point, and it just happened to be against Patrick Mahomes, which was like absolutely perfect. That's one thing I really loved about it. And just not only that, I think Jalen Hurts, not only because I'm a fan of him, but I just believe he's so underrated. There's not a lot of he has a lot of fans, but there's also a lot of other fans that love football that would say that he's overrated, which I don't get why. He basically says stats don't matter to him, winning does. And that just shows who a true champion can be. Is if they it's like Tom Brady. Tom Brady was the same way. It's not like he put up 500 yards and 4 touchdowns every game. He just wanted to find a way to win. Chiefs kind of did that throughout the season, but the Chiefs are just so annoying, and I'm just glad. I think it was just ought to be that the Eagles would beat them today because it just shuts the whole Chiefs nation up. We don't have to hear about that for the rest of the season. The only thing they're going to be showing on the Chiefs is Chris Jones crying. He's cried in like every game this season. They're going to show Patrick Mahomes emotional for some reason. I don't know why he should be emotional right now. He's already won 3 Super Bowls. He's just a little baby. And then they didn't show Taylor Swift more than 4 times. I don't think I saw her more than 4 times.
I only saw her one time.
Yeah, I don't even I don't
Yeah.
think I saw her twice. I saw her at the beginning of the game, and they might have showed her one more. I saw the booing. I saw all the fans booing her when they panned
Hey,
into her on TV.
About that, and I wanted to ask you guys this because when I don't know if you guys both watched the very beginning when both teams came in. When the Chiefs came in, there was booing, and booing is always louder than cheering. You'll
Oh yeah,
always hear booing louder. And
Oh, for sure.
they opened the mics, and you could hear blatant booing when the Chiefs came running in. There were still cheers. I heard cheers, and then the Eagles came in, and it was like a fucking coliseum erupt, and it was like
yeah.
people
Hey,
were
Yeah.
just
Kansas
cheering.
City, Kansas City's way closer than Philadelphia to New Orleans, so you can assume that there would be more Chiefs fans there. And not only that, think about all the Swifties. All of Taylor Swift's fans are there.
Oh, Swifties
They're all
galore.
there's fans only there to see Taylor Swift. They paid $4,000 for a seat just so they could see Taylor Swift and all these other celebrities.
Wait, hold on.
Let's talk about that for a sec because that's got to have some good money just to be able to piss away 4,000 just to maybe catch a glimpse of Taylor Swift at a Super Bowl. To have that money, you got to be winning in life.
That's very true.
I always said that if someone offered me Super Bowl tickets, no matter the price, I would just sell them. My dad has a really good thought on this. Yes, do I enjoy going to a football game? If it's at Lambeau, I haven't been to many football stadiums,
Hey,
but
hold on,
I
Sam.
would
Sam,
I
hold
would
on.
much rather just watch a game on TV.
Hold that thought. Mike, Mike, you've been to Lambeau.
I have been to Lambeau. It's the
Great.
only NFL. I grew up pretty close to Soldier.
Yeah.
I've never been inside of Soldier Field though,
Great
but have been
stadium.
to Lambeau.
Great stadium though.
I'll
Even,
tell you this:
even though you hate him.
Lambeau, even though I hate them, I'll give respect where respect is due. And this is my personal experience. The stadium itself, awesome, full of history. You know, you got Packer fans everywhere. The Lambeau Leap's cool. Let's call it what it is. I think my only gripe with Lambeau would be the
Was
seats
all the
because
Packer fans?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm used to fucking. You know how resilient you have to be as a Bears fan to walk in to to Lambeau when it's not even a Bears game. Not to mention, Packer fans, you got to step your IQ up a little bit. Like I at least know my enemy. If I see a Nitschke jersey, I can spot it. Like game recognized game. I had some of these dumbasses going, is that a Broncos jersey? It's a bright 54. Recognize who daddy is, okay? The Brian Urlacher.
I thought it was the cold weather.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. Admittedly, I'm kind of a little bitch with the cold. Like I'll admit that. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I think it's like the bleacher styled seats for me paired with the cold because I'll tell you, man, like as much as I'm standing up and sitting down, because I get into it, like even it's not my team, like I love a good game. And it was actually a Green Bay Packer field goal at the last second against New England. So it was a 24-21 win, I believe. But yeah, good game. It's that cold paired with the angle coming down, and those seats get cold as shit. That'd be about my only gripe. Outside of that, fantastic stadium.
Hey, um, it's that old school high school bleacher, but badass. Like every person in the world's gonna be there. Feeling.
Yeah, couple
Now,
basket
Lucas, you
cases,
can buy
maybe
seat
Zealand
pass for the
product.
Lambo.
Thanks, Dad. I know that.
They're like $5 or $10. They might be 20 now. Actually, they're probably not because Lambo is very generous in like making sure the fans don't have to pay like 2 weeks salary for a ticket or anything. Because I kept looking at Lambo tickets throughout this past season, and it would be like, okay, if you want to sit upper level, it's the cheapest ticket you could find was like $88. But if you want to come to Minnesota and sit upper level, cheapest ticket's like $320. Why? Just to see Sam Darnold? Who likes him?
Well, regular season he's gonna do good, but just don't buy in the playoffs.
Right, that's just it.
Eh,
It's like a stock. You got to know when to hold it and when to fold it.
But hey, let's get back to the thing on hand here. First off, Sam, that what is that? Tampa Bay Buccaneers hat? That's probably mine because I'm probably the biggest Baker Mayfield fan here. I love that guy. That guy came to my house one time. We played arm wrestling all fucking night. I beat him like 3 times out of the 5.
No, this is my hat. Keep your hands off of it. I paid some good money for this hat. The only reason I'm wearing this hat with an Eagles jersey is I'm basically just showing off who's going to win the next Super Bowl.
The Eagles or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Oh,
The
Tampa Bay
Bucks.
Buccaneers. Okay, okay.
He's going bold.
As much
Straight
as I
up.
would love to say the Packers are going to win the next Super Bowl, I think they're going to be the year after that. So NFC is going to be owning the AFC for the next 5 years.
So now you're calling 2 years in a row.
Here's the thing. I can simply do this. Okay. Don't mind my messy hair. I can simply take that off and take my remarks back under one circumstance.
Okay.
If the Packers go out and make that move to either get Myles Garrett
Okay.
or Max Crosby and Devontae Adams, if they make one of those two things happen, so the two players or the one player, they're going to go to the Super Bowl and win it next year. But if they don't make any moves, Bucks are going to win next year.
Well, I will say this on that point, and we're getting off of complete tangents, but that's fine.
Hey, it's all football talk, pal. If the season's over, you can talk about anything you want.
Okay, well, let's talk about bowling. So I was there at Colonial Lanes in Rochester. I was bowling. I sucked so bad. I did not even hit a 115. It was
Got about a
embarrassing.
120 average.
Oh, yeah, watch out for this guy. He's fucking King Castle.
No, I'm not even. I don't even think it's that. I'm pretty abysmal at bowling, to be fair.
But Aaron Rodgers is not coming back to the Jets. The Jets already said no. And you know what? That's the dumbest thing
Love it.
that's the dumbest things the Jets could ever do in their entire life. It doesn't matter if you hate Aaron Rodgers. They can't build a young quarterback up ever to save their life, and it's shown in the last 24 years.
Well, I can explain that.
No, but hold on. So Aaron Rodgers is leaving. So it sounds like Aaron Rodgers wants to come back for at least one more year, maybe 2, depending on the situation. So I feel like Devontae, his little buddy, is going to follow him wherever he goes. And it sounds like he might go to Steelersville or retire, basically. Or go to Minnesota and complete the whole cycle. Who knows? But I feel like
It's
Devontae
so
is
wild.
not going to Green Bay just because of that happening. Because the Jets were like, no, we're not going to take you. Even though it would have been smart for the Jets to be like, hey, we should take you on. Even though we don't win a Super Bowl, you can, we can draft someone and they can sit behind Aaron Rodgers and learn a little bit. But now they're going to just get someone and be a complete trash. But it doesn't matter. They use Madden to decide who they pick. So the Jets are a lost cause. They probably should be just ended. Kick them out of there. Let's start up a new one. Maybe I think Montana needs a good team. Let's get a Montana team. They'll be the Montana Mooses, the MMs. I feel like that's a way better team than the fucking New York Jets. They already have three teams, and they already have
You
the New
think
York
Billings has
Giants.
got that fan base for that?
Wow, whoa, whoa, whoa. There's enough Midwesterners they can slough over. We got a lot of Minnesota Viking fans here. Maybe they want to do some mooses, some
All right.
Montana mooses.
All right, let me
I don't know if there's
explain.
a single moose in Montana though.
Shut up, Dave.
All right, let me explain what's going on with the Jets and Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
So basically, Aaron Rodgers is going to walk up, or they're letting him go. Yes, Devontae Adams is connected with that. I've heard some multiple reports on different scenarios of what could happen. So, and then you're saying, why would you get rid of Aaron Rodgers? That's the dumbest thing ever. Here's why it's not the dumbest thing ever.
Okay.
I feel like
They
I'm
have a
tending
top
to
five
agree with
pick.
what Sam's about to say. But go on, Sam.
I'm pretty sure they have a top 5 pick, so they're most likely going to draft another QB. Aaron Rodgers' thought on that is, I'm not going to go through the same situation that it was with Green Bay when they drafted Jordan Love. He doesn't want to waste however many more years he has in the league to
That's probably like 2.
basically mentor another young QB for the last 2 years of his career. He's going to want to try to go to a different team that needs a quarterback that might have a good coaching staff, whatever. So this is my thought. I would love the Packers to get Devontae Adams back. However, now that Aaron Rodgers is no longer going to be playing for the Jets, here's the 3 teams I did here that are potential candidates. The Steelers, which to me doesn't make sense because they have to decide between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. I don't know why they would want another QB. They did just fine this year. The Raiders, which would not be good because if Aaron Rodgers goes to the Raiders, Devontae Adams is going right back to the Raiders, and then Packers won't be getting Max Crosby or Devontae Adams. And then the last team is, which also is frustrating, but I've already moved on from Aaron Rodgers, so I really wouldn't care. But it's the Minnesota Vikings. And if he goes to the Vikings and then Devontae Adams follows him to the Vikings, which also wouldn't make any sense because they're already loaded on wide receiver weapons. But who cares? Because they would still just do it because Minnesota Vikings always grab the garbage players that are 50 years old after their careers are basically over.
No, Packer players, not just garbage players. They love Packer sloppy seconds. They do. You can just go through all the people. We got Ryan Longwell, Brett Favre, Robert Ferguson,
Greg Jennings.
Greg Jennings.
I mean, look at your running backs that just
Look
went
at
there.
Darren Sharper. Look how Darren Sharper ended up.
Darren Sharper. Oh yeah, it's literally like
he played for the Packers and he played for the Vikings. He went to the prison for the rest of his life. Why would anyone want to go to the Vikings and do the same thing that he would do? No one.
It wasn't from the Vikings. It was from diddling people. But we won't talk about what Darren Sharper did.
Hey, you never asked me what's on my jersey, by the way.
Is that like an Eagles jersey or an old Tom Brady jersey?
Yeah, you wish it was Tom Brady, pal. Nope.
Is that McNabb? Is that what we're looking at now?
Yeah.
That's an old
Minnesota Viking player. Hot damn. Minnesota had him.
Oh, and what did he do for the Vikings? Did he go 6-12 his season there? Wow. So I'm saying the Vikings just like to go out and just grab scraps, see what they can do. The only luck they've had was Brett Favre making to the NFC Championship game, and then it got scripted, and the Saints won.
Well, no, it wasn't scripted. It was paid off. It's different. There's 2 different. Okay.
I actually think it was the hurricane. Hurricane Katrina, I believe, was the thing that went through that city. So they needed – it was kind of like the Rams and the Vikings.
It was like a year after.
Wasn't that the year after?
It was the year after. It was like 2008. Not 2007. I forget.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Learn your national disaster history. Jesus.
All right. Well, do you guys have anything else to say on quick thoughts on the what happened in the Super Bowl? There's gonna be more thoughts on it, but any quick thoughts on the Super Bowl?
I mean, other than the fact that we all enjoyed the hell out of it, I mean, we can get into it later, but that's the baseline that we need to worry about.
Yeah.
What a game.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. Hey,
Jalen
who's
Hurts.
that?
Jalen Hurts is a true 100% humble player. If you watched him after the game, like in his interviews and all that kind of stuff, emotional, but he's just so humbled. That's what I love about him.
The other thing too, the guy runs and he knows when to get out of bounds and when to not fake people out. Because Mahomes also faked someone out earlier in the game. He didn't get punished for it or anything, but he went this way and he was like, and then he slid. And it was like it was the dumbest thing ever. And Mahomes is sorry, I don't play football right now. Biggest pussy ever because he is. He's a big pussy. He is the pussy of the NFL, and it is gross, disgusting, and the fact that he takes advantage of that just explains everything. And the fact that the refs couldn't help him out after a what almost 30-0, and then they came back with 22 points. That actually rubbed me a little bit of the wrong way because I was like, oh, they got 22 points. So someone in the end is gonna be like, well, it was 22-40. No, if you look in the beginning of the fourth quarter, it was basically 6-30 whatever. But
34-6.
34. Yep.
yeah. So
37-6.
yeah, they ran all over
absolutely.
those little numbskulls. Well, they didn't run all over them because I wish Barkley would have, but he didn't. But at least for his birthday,
Jalen
he
Hurts
got,
deserves that MVP, though. Definitely.
yeah, he did. Jalen Hurts controlled the whole game.
Hey, who won MVP? I didn't even see that yet.
Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Jalen Hurts is basically a bigger, stronger, slower version of Michael Vick, and that's a compliment.
Yeah. I mean, the guy can squat 600 pounds. It's nothing to sneeze at.
Also,
I mean,
he's probably a better thrower too.
Michael Vick could zing that thing, but yes, I would agree.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what, if you had prime Michael Vick in Atlanta, like the physical aspects paired with Philadelphia mentality Vick, you have probably a top 3 quarterback of all time. You could have combined those two.
Well, now we're falling into this category. If you're gonna have a Falcon go up against an Eagle, which one's gonna win? Because now that's what we're talking about.
Oof. I mean, what kind of eagle are we talking about, though? That's a big difference, too.
Well, we're talking about a Peregrine Falcon against a bald eagle.
Oh, bald eagle every fucking time. Bald
Yeah,
eagle
they're pretty ruthless. I've watched some videos on bald eagles eat varmints and stuff, and they don't care what they're chewing on. They will go right to the throat and rip those tendons out.
I've seen a bald eagle pick up a bear.
Now, real question is
that's not a bear joke. That's not a bear joke. Okay.
Hey, you know what? Just because it's not flying over West Hollywood picking up bears doesn't mean it should come to Chicago and try to get our players. Okay. That's all I'm saying. Shout out West Hollywood.
What did you guys think about the halftime show? Because I personally don't have any skin in the game against Drake and Kendrick. So like I don't like I'm off here wearing a Sammy Adams shirt and
Get lucky, man. Get lucky.
I'm pretty far off. So like that Super Bowl didn't really, it was very neutral to me. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was just like, so.
I mean, I'll tell you this. I mean, as much melanin as I'm lacking in, I'm pretty fly for a white guy, but Kendrick's the shit. I love it. And I think one of the best parts of that was that he just was like, "Hey, bring your ruler. We're about to measure dicks. I'm doing this, whether the lawyers say so or not." And I loved it. Was all for it. I think that's why people fuck with Kendrick because he is willing to do shit like that.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, it felt like, and I feel like if I dig more deep into this, especially later on in the week, if I dig deeper, there's probably a lot more puns and a lot of more like subtle jabs that he did that I just don't know because I'm not, in that realm that he
That's
did.
that's fair.
And I love that. That's fun. Um, but I'm not in that realm, so I didn't know. So I was just basically like, okay, it's a Super Bowl halftime. And I was just
You
like,
know, that's actually how I was. I don't really listen to Kendrick Lamar in the first place. I thought it was a good idea to maybe change up the Super Bowl halftime show. And I mean, it's once a year. You don't have to have one artist. Maybe that chick that came on was an artist. I don't know who that was either. But I think it'd be actually kind of cool to have like 6 platforms in the middle of the field, and on each platform there's a different artist of a different genre. And I feel like lately, the last 5 years, it's always been rap. Maybe there's one year where it's like a throwback from like 80s music. I don't know who it was, but it'd be cool if there was like a Smash Mouth, and there's Red Hot Chili Peppers that sing a song, and then there's Blink 182 that sing a song. But I know that just change it up, sing songs that people know. Like my mom even said like I didn't like the halftime show. It was kind of stupid. I get that because there's people in their 60s that are like, who the hell is this? No one cares about this guy.
I do think it's hilarious though going on Facebook after that halftime show because I really just was like, man, let me just take a quick peek at the social media aspects and see what we got going. And like every older Gen X slash boomer I saw was like, this isn't music. What the fuck is this?
um, Sam, you are so old.
Just shooting fucking cannons over here right now.
Um, no, I agree with you, Sam.
Be
I
nice to
think
this man.
I think I think that would be a really good idea if they did like I don't even know the top 4 genres. Like I'm terrible at music. I'm the worst
Well,
person to ask
that's
about music. But if you were to take like the top like of each genre, not even of that year, but just the top, like that'd be fun. Bing bang boom, and they switch off. That'd be cool. Or maybe they do like a throwback. Like I just love every year they're slightly different because it's like if you hate it one year, then you're like, there's always next year. Because if you're honestly only watching for the halftime show, well, sorry, get fucked because this is football. This is football. We're watching for football. It's not for the halftime show. If you're watching for the
Yeah.
halftime show, hey, guess what? You can go. You can literally go to that artist and you can go to their concert. It's an actual thing, and we'll get into this because I will get into this. And I'm glad that Philadelphia won because we didn't have to see Taylor Swift. I love Taylor Swift as an artist. Fucking hate seeing her at a fucking NFL fucking stadium. Like, and
See,
I don't hate seeing her because it's like, because they showed a bunch of celebrities today. That's fine. But I hate that they just ream it down your throat. It's like Kansas City Chiefs, Taylor Swift, Kansas City Chiefs, Taylor Swift, Kansas City Chiefs, Taylor Swift. And it's one thing for the Super Bowl to ram
yeah.
celebrities down your throat. That's fine. But every game, 16 games, if the Chiefs were on 16 times and it was in your area, you'd be like, and you didn't like Taylor Swift, you'd see her. It would be
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh my God, I'm
Roger
tired.
Goodell definitely was playing on that cash cow for
Yeah.
sure. They had to get some airtime. I mean, whether that's the nature of business or not, I get it because you are absolutely right. Like, nothing against Taylor Swift at all as an artist. Like, great artist. She's got the numbers to prove it. She's got a huge fan base. But yeah, they rode the hell out of that cash cow this season for sure.
She made the NFL $1 billion since dating
Oh,
Travis Kelce. A
I,
billion.
I don't doubt that at all.
So the fact that it came down to this game and the Eagles blew the Chiefs out just makes it all the better.
Well,
It really does. It's like
I'm not saying I want Taylor
on
Swift in
the
a
gift
halftime
wrap.
show. I'm just saying,
well,
change it up. No one knows Kendrick Lamar except for Drake. Okay? There might be some hockey players out there that listen to his music, but just
Hey,
throw something else out there. Like,
give Kendrick some credit.
Right.
it'd be great. It'd be great if next year they had Drake,
Oh,
just straight up Drake, just for that. But either way, if we see a Kelsey / Taylor Swift breakup, was it because of the Super Bowl loss? No one
well,
knows. No
what's
one
the
knows.
over under on a breakup album for that though? That's what I want to know.
he's probably proposing to her tonight because he doesn't want to lose her now.
No, oh, that's true, but
It's gonna come down to a yes or no. Pop the
she,
question. She's gonna be like, "Well, you lost.
yeah,
You know,
she'll
this
probably
You
isn't
say,
who I thought
fucking
you were. This isn't who I
loser.
thought you were."
She's gonna go.
you didn't three-peat it, so I'm out. And
They
then
are
there's
who
gonna
we
be
thought they were.
there's gonna be a song, and
We let him off the hook.
I'm a terrible song artist or lyricist, but it's gonna be like, he never ever ever peated.
Good point.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So sorry.
Got a nice ring to it, you know. Should probably go and just send her those lyrics right away. Tell her get going.
She already has
Get a
them.
new multi-platinum record out. Yeah. No,
Uh,
it was something.
I guess we can move on to quick commercials. I didn't really like. No commercials really stood out to me like really amazing because a lot of the commercials that were there, I saw a lot of the commercials already. To be honest with you,
Valid.
because social media, the one thing they do terribly is they just release majority of the commercials. There were a couple that I didn't see that were cool, very Americanish, and was great.
Oh,
But
that Post Malone and Shane Gillis
yeah,
Bud Light commercial was
but
just prime
yeah,
though. Loved every second of it.
but that one was out like 2 weeks before this. So like,
And I guess I just don't watch enough commercials because I honestly had never seen that until today.
for crying out loud. Well, hey Mike, why don't you follow Mustard Cat Sports?
I,
We'll
I'm gonna have
repost
to.
it. We'll repost that for you just so you can. I didn't on Mustard Cat Sports, but I will make sure I start doing that just so you can see that, pal.
I don't like any of the commercials anymore for Super Bowls. Even though they still talk about like, oh, the commercials are going to be good this year. I think all the commercials are soft. They're never going to be the same as they used to be. Like they can't do they can't do anything naughty anymore. It could still be a little funny, but funny nowadays is like
That's true.
it's like a G movie back then.
Yeah.
Not a PG movie, not a PG-13 movie, not a rated R movie. It's like G. It's like watching like I don't even know.
It's hard to edge it out. I see what you're saying. It's hard to edge it out.
I mean, if you want
They
to
can't do
edge
anything
that
to
to
offend
yourself,
anyone anymore nowadays.
you edge away.
Hey, you know what my favorite Super Bowl commercials were?
What?
It was a hell of a long time ago, but it was during when we were in high school days, late 2000s. They
McDonald's
did
ones.
these. They were. They might have been Bud Light commercials. Like I don't remember the beer. I think they're Coors Light actually, but they were the guys that
Would be Coors Light.
dude. It was the dude commercials.
Mm.
If you go on YouTube tonight and type in Coors Light dude commercials, maybe they're Bud Light. I don't know, but they were.
I'm pretty sure it was Anheuser-Busch. So Bud Light. I'm pretty sure because that was the same one as what's that's the same genre.
Yo, Duke, pick up the phone. Yeah, those were the shit, man.
So I'm pretty sure it was the same genre, but so Anheuser-Busch, so it'd be Bud Light, Budweiser. Busch Light wasn't doing it at that time, but
Yeah, you're an alcoholic. You know me. You know too many beers.
Yeah. When I was living
the
in
game
the
tonight.
early
I was
2000s, I was just buzzing down the fucking drinks. Hey,
No,
you're
I
in
was
middle
watching
school. What are you doing? Shut up.
I was watching the game tonight, sipping back on some Miller Lights, and then I threw in a couple amaretto sours in there. I bet you've never heard of those.
Oh,
Funny
fancy.
fact, I had no idea what amaretto was.
Dude, I'll be real. Until I ever bartended, I also had no idea what amaretto was until I started bartending.
Funny thing
Yeah,
is, I don't know
yeah.
what I don't know what a drink is. So
My wife said, she's 1 year younger than I am, by the way. She's like, "Oh yeah, that was my drink of choice in college. Amaretto sours, amaretto sours." I'm like, I didn't even know what amaretto was, but I tried it on this cruise ship, and it tastes like almond, kind of. It's got a really nice, smooth flavor.
it tastes like
It's not
almonds.
very strong. It's like 28% alcohol by volume. But
I like these casual flexes you're dropping too. You're like on a cruise ship, by the way.
right?
Hey,
No, I tried it on a cruise ship, and I didn't know what it was. I was like, wow, I like that because I like almond
hey,
cake. I
hey!
like anything almond flavor.
Was it down in Tampa Bay where you got that hat?
No, I was on eBay when I got it.
You were on the boat on eBay, or you were
Oh,
You know,
on eBay?
if you really want it, I'll sell it to you for 250. 250, that is.
got to pay for another cruise ship.
Just shows that I'm a true Baker Mayfield fan. You're sitting over there, Lucas, with a little Miller Lite in your
Uh,
hand, shaky fingers.
uh,
A little tight hat. Hey,
I do. I should put the tight hat on. But this get up won the Eagles the Super Bowl, so I decided to wear the same thing. I
Uh,
can't change it up.
get lucky, man.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
happens?
yeah. Um, it's really lucky though. You know.
I mean, I've told you I've had the kind of luck where, again, if it was raining pussy, I'd get hit with a dick. So I'm glad somebody was wearing that lucky shirt for our one day Eagle fan
There,
pass today.
there was only one way the Eagles were going to win this fairly, and it was to get up to a fast lead. Now, and that's what they did.
Yeah,
Because if they would have kept that close, we already saw what happened in the first two possessions. It was like,
yeah,
oh, hey, that was a pass interference. And then that one play that the Eagles got was like a play that they gave back to the Eagles, and I was, oh,
you talking about that Dallas Goddard like unnecessary roughness? I think it was like the very next drive.
the next drive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
They gave it back to the Eagles, and I was like, well, that's nice. But then I'm like, ooh, the refs now think it's even. So now they're just gonna like call it a wash. And I'm like, fuck, they need to score. They need to score now because if not, the Chiefs are gonna start winning because the refs quote unquote think that it's fair now because they gave the Eagles a free play now. And I was like, oh, so that frustrated
yeah.
me. But then they did score and then they did start pounding it on. But
What was going on with those extra points, though, man? There was like a penalty on every extra point with Philly. I don't know what the hell was going on with it. I think that was probably the most questionable thing, rough wise. But I mean, they made it happen, man. Even on that
it,
50-yarder, they converted it.
yeah, no, I did.
I actually jinxed part of the game.
Oh, thanks.
Well, when it was, I believe it was. I don't know if they ever had 31 points, but I know they had 34. Did they go from a touchdown to get 34, or did they have 31
I
and they got a
believe
field goal to go 34?
I think it was 27, and then they went 34.
But it
I
was
mean, let me check
34
my notes
nothing,
here.
right?
Yes, it was 34 nothing after I believe it was a 46-yard Devontae Smith touchdown.
So after looking at the score 34 nothing, I went on ESPN and I looked up all the Super Bowl winners because I wanted to see if there was actually at least one team that got shut out in a Super Bowl era. And there hasn't been. And I was just like,
Oh,
wow, this could be the first one. And literally it was that next play they bombed it to Xavier Worthy for a touchdown.
I I
I
honestly
got to
think
give credit where credit's due. That was a sweet ass touchdown, though. It really was. As
well,
much as I didn't want the Chiefs to win.
I honestly think it probably could have been a shutout. But you know how the NFL gets soft once they start getting a lead, they start being like, well, we need to go to prevent. We need to go to prevent rather than just keep hammering it down because if you hammer it down, you have that potential to lose that big play. Well, you just did that. You gave that big play away and you were playing soft prevent. Cool. Like
Yeah, think about
that drives me insane. as a person.
You almost gotta think it's gotta be for like player longevity. Like, hey guys, I know you're all about to go on vacation and you probably don't want to fuck yourselves up. That's about the only thing I can really think.
It might be, but at the same time, it's like this is a Super Bowl. You want to make history, like obviously you make history if you win a Super Bowl. But if you can shut someone out, like that, especially the Chiefs. If you were to shut them out, now they have that whole stigma behind them that they scored 22 points, and
Oh
it's like
well. Think about all those poor Chiefs fans that just spent their life savings to go to that game and they just got absolutely demolished.
think
Man, you know what I think is equally as sweet is all the fucking bandwagoner Chiefs fans that hopped on this year that were just like, Chiefs Nation, baby, and then just got absolutely fucking reamed in the last game of the season.
yeah,
What
Not
a
only
fitting
that, think
one.
about all the Chiefs fans that put money on them to win the Super Bowl after they won their first playoff game. They're probably, oh, this is
Delicious.
guaranteed. This is
Delicious.
guaranteed. Nope, not guaranteed.
think about this though. Think about this, and I was thinking about this as um, the Eagles started winning because we already knew that what's his nuts won the MVP from Bills land. Um,
Oh, Josh Allen, we're
I can never
talking.
remember
I
his name.
got you.
Josh Allen. He's got the easiest name ever. I can never remember Josh Allen.
Such a
Um,
basic white guy name, you just
I
forget it.
never can remember that guy's name. But how cool would it have been Josh Allen versus Jalen Hurts? The two probably arguably most running people and like I feel like that would have been a way better Super Bowl overall. And
And
more
let's talk about that.
and,
The amount of rushing touchdowns they have is
I
insane.
know. And just the fact that you would have like it like it, you would have less people pushing to one side or the other, you know? You would only have like obviously you'd have a ton of people on the Bills side, and then you'd have a ton of people over here being like, "Well, I don't like the Philly fan base." So they would probably go. You probably have more people on the Bills side, honestly. But that would have been a really really nice game. I feel like the Kansas City Chiefs are just filled with people that live in Missouri, even though Kansas City technically I don't think is in Missouri.
Yeah, it is.
And um,
Yeah, I see you didn't do geography too well, but it seems like you're running a show a little better. So thankfully we got that.
but
There's Kansas City, Missouri, and there's Kansas City, Kansas, but the Chiefs are in Missouri.
oh, are they? Well, fuck that area. Of any area in the Midwest that I truly do not like, it's that area. I truly agree. I would rather go to Arkansas. I'd rather go to Oklahoma. I would honestly rather go to Nebraska. And I hate Nebraska.
That's
Nebraska
because you
is just
slept with
Nebraska.
your cousins.
no. There's no one in Nebraska. I don't know anyone unless you're telling me that my cousins are corn.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to my boy Armando who moved out there lately. He's just enjoying his best corn shucking life, or
In
all the
Nebraska?
other in Nebraska, Kearney, Nebraska. That man's in.
I don't know where
Shout out to
is
him.
that top corner, bottom corner, middle?
It's kind of from what I remember, it's like if you go to the middle and then slightly south.
So,
I
so.
looked it up like one time in a map and I was like, yeah, that looks fucking horrible.
All right. Either way, Kansas City, they've gotten too much shine on their light, and they're done. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. Patrick Mahomes is a nobody. That guy's gonna finish as a top like 15 top quarterback because he's not ever going to achieve what he did ever again. And you can mark my words.
No, I can't mark your words because I already said the same thing tonight. This was
Oh,
his last Super Bowl appearance. It is.
I can
hey,
realistically
hey,
see
hey,
that
hey,
too.
hold on. Mark my words, mark your words, mark other people's words, and then go.
Mark's words.
Yeah, mark Mark's words.
I don't see him. If he ever does reach another Super Bowl, it's not going to be until like another 5 years. They have. I just.
I really do like the
There's too many good
Xavier or the
AFC
Hollywood
teams that are going
Brown
to start
combo
feeding
though.
them. I don't know. It's too bad for him because he's kind of like a Connor McDavid of hockey. Finally got to his first Stanley Cup and he couldn't win it. Now that was his last chance.
And I don't know if you guys are aware of this weird little NFL statistic. For every player who loses their first Super Bowl appearance, I believe up until now with Jalen Hurts, every other quarterback who's lost their first Super Bowl appearance has never won anything thereafter via Super Bowl.
Thanks,
You can feel
Dad.
free to fact check that for me, but
I think you're incorrect. Mike, I think you're incorrect.
Thanks, Dad.
Who do you got? Who do you got?
I think they brought this up on TV during the game.
Really?
I think there's only 4.
Where
they lost in their first, but they won one at least.
Yeah. Who are we thinking? Because I can't think of any.
I believe Len Dawson for the Chiefs way back then did it. He lost his first Super Bowl, then he won one. And
is
then
that back when they lost the Packers?
John Elway lost, and then he beat the Packers.
Thanks.
Did he
But
lose
then he won another
one?
one. So he won 2 more, and then there's like 2 other quarterbacks I can't remember.
Yeah, John Elway. Well, no, John Elway made it to. Didn't he make it to the Super Bowl? I don't know.
I could have swore he won his first, but fuck, maybe not.
No, John Elway didn't. No, he won his last 2. That's all he did. He is the epitome of wide receivers that, or not wide receivers, quarterbacks that have gone on top. The only. So.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that is funny, though. I believe it's John Elway was about the only one year. I can't remember which year, but there was a John Elway Broncos team, and it was the only team to benefit from penalties more than this year's Chiefs. And it's just.
So John Elway was a rookie in '84, I believe, and he went to the Super Bowl in '87 and '88 and lost both of them.
Wow.
Then he went to the Super Bowl in 1990, lost, and then he went to the Super Bowl against the Packers and beat them.
And won. Yeah, that was what, 97?
96 season, 97 Super Bowl.
Yep.
No, that's
well, fuck.
Sorry. 97 season, 98 Super Bowl.
That is a great transition because I am going to get a Barkley jersey because he is number 26, which 26 is one of my favorite numbers. The Super Bowl in 1996 was on the Packers, which they won a Super Bowl. So the Eagles won. So now I'm going to get a Barkley jersey. Just because of that. And they beat the Chiefs, so that makes me happy because fuck the Chiefs.
You stick to that Barkley jersey. I'm getting a Hurts and a Baker Mayfield and a Jordan Love jersey.
How can you wear all of them at the same time, pal?
Layers.
He's gonna exactly triple up.
Yeah. Jordan
Love
Love plays at noon. Baker Mayfield plays at 3:05. Guess who plays at 7:00? Jalen Hurts. You just take them off every 4 hours.
Right. Thanks. There was really no bad calls, honestly, besides the first 2.
Yeah, I would agree. It was a pretty fairly called game.
Once the game kind of got out of hand in a good way, it was pretty lackluster for the most part.
Yeah. I got to say, I think just because I'm trying to go down the middle as much as I say fuck the Chiefs, there was, I think, one call in the second half where I was like, okay, Philly kind of got away with one, and it was like during a pressure to Patrick Mahomes where they kind of put the face up in the mask, but that's about it.
But I do agree with you. But at the same time, he has been given the softest penalties through the whole season.
For sure.
So it was enjoy
it was
that.
Kind of that justified moment.
Yeah, enjoy that face fucking handprint. You fuck. Because they've literally, and I said this in another podcast, out of the 10 out of the 18 games in the regular season, they have had a penalty called that has gone their way and changed it to the momentum their way for them to win because they've never gone over 30 points besides the last weeks or 2 weeks when they got 32 points. Otherwise, they never have gone over 30 points.
Yeah,
And
for the season, it's just been so many one possession
yeah,
score wins.
yeah,
It's just been you can't deny it. And I
yeah.
think that's what's kind of funny is that Roger Goodell went so far as to say, I think it is just absolutely insulting. And where would anyone get this information? And it's like, man, a quick Google search is where you can get that information. Like it's right
I,
fucking there.
I'm blind. All right, hey, scram you little wizard. We're about to do top 5 defenses. So
All right. Well, you guys enjoy
Yeah.
yourselves. Nice to meet you again, Mike. I'm pretty sure I met
Oh,
you.
that's good. Go enjoy the wife.
That's the plan. All right. I'll see you guys.
All right,
bye,
later, man.
Bye.
Mike. Do you have any other touching points on this Super Bowl? Because I'm gonna say this, and then you can say your ending, and then we're gonna jump into
Let's do it. Let's jump right in.
the top 5 defenses. But overall, I personally was satisfied with the Super Bowl just because the Eagles won. I didn't think the Kansas City Chiefs should have won or got even into the Super Bowl. They honestly shouldn't have gotten to the playoffs. They got gifted that.
Ah,
They got gifted a bunch of stuff. Every person that was like, look at the stats. Well, if you look at the stats, they're fucking terrible. And then the only thing that they had was their record, and everyone's like, "Well, look at the record. They're like 15-1." Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. But did you see the
yeah.
refs that were pushing anything behind them? Ooh, get fucked. So every
How
fucking
do you
person,
really feel?
how do I really feel? This is how I really feel. Every fucking person that reamed down my throat that I was a fucking idiot. Um, that's fine. I'll be an idiot. But guess what? Enjoy that Chiefs loss because how does that three-peat taste? You can't taste it because it's gone. Suck it. So that's all I have to say. And I hope I don't have to see the Chiefs again for another
Yeah, it would.
100+ years because
It'd be so nice,
they were never even relevant.
man. When
Even
Charles was the running back though, back in the day, that was Chiefs. I like to see for real with
yeah,
Alex Smith and company. Like I could fuck with the Chiefs then
yeah,
for
yeah,
sure. Even Mahomes that first year, and it's like the old saying goes, man. You either die the hero or you live long enough to become the villain, and he's just lived too long.
that's spot on. Well, it's not that's true to a point, but it's true to the Tom Brady effect. Like you
Oh
live,
yeah,
like Tom Brady became the villain because he won so much because he was damn good, and now he's become
but
the.
he was good though.
I
He
know.
didn't. I mean, it wasn't a ref reliance. I
Yeah.
mean, sure,
Yeah.
they cheated in terms of old school gridiron. You know, if you
Yes.
ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But
Deflate
damn,
gate. They watch people's signs. I see that. I get that. The the Patriots did what they did, but guess what? The Kansas City Chiefs never cheated, and they relied on the
I just got a gift wrapped. Really.
yeah, yeah. Hey, let's help you out. Like if you just
I
look
mean,
at
we can't take away from the talent that is Mahomes. Like I'll give him credit where credit's due. Like the guy's a phenomenal quarterback.
hey,
Like I'm not going to take that away from him.
I,
But that's going back to that Roger Goodell statement. To say it's insulting that people can think this.
yeah,
Like, what do you mean? Like, we just had an MLB umpire get fired for gambling across the league. We go back to '07. We have NBA refs getting fired for the same
yeah,
thing. Like, this is a trend across multiple leagues. This
yeah.
isn't something that's brand new.
Hey, this okay. Let me just jump on this before we jump into the top 5. So I agree with you 1,000%. Like, look into it. Like, don't be fucking ignorant and be like, oh, it doesn't happen. It never happens. Because it does. And I don't take anything against Patrick Mahomes. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's a great quarterback. I think he's a top 20 quarterback, hands down. I don't. He's not a top 10 quarterback, hands down.
I see it now. I would put him in my top 10 just off of some of the
Would you,
improvisation and just winning.
would,
He's not in my top five, but he is in my top 10.
would you like? Okay, okay. We might have to talk about that sometime. We'll have you back on just for that because I would like to talk about that, but we're not going on that tangent. But fuck, now I forgot where I was going with that. But either way, um, it's just you can't if the fans are thinking one way and the president or whoever is running the fucking organization is saying one thing, you can't be that ignorant. Because if you are, you're gonna lose 1,000% credibility, and it's really hard to get that back. It is very, very hard to
Yeah.
get it back because people might start liking you again and be like, "Oh yeah, Roger Goodell's great," but they're always gonna remember in the back of their head like that guy thought Patrick Mahomes was a three-peater. They will. No one forgets.
I think you,
Hey,
I mean, I can't even
hey,
blame you.
hey, no one forgets. That was like 5 years ago.
Oh, shit. We just totally biffed that camera. Hold on.
That's perfect.
There we go. People don't forget.
If you don't forget. What was that like?
Oh, oh,
Uh,
it's super bad. Super
Super
bad is
bad. Yes,
amazing.
thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Great reference. Uh, I forgot where I was going with that now after that. So
So after, I think it was, we were talking about potential for like quarterback scenarios in top five slash 10 for another day. Then you jumped forward to
mm,
talking about like the integrity of like, hey, like you can't just throw this shit in people's faces and expect people to just kind of run with the program. And I think we might have talked about this in past, but it's kind of like it's like the WWE, right? Like you look at the WWE and they pretty much let you know right off the bat, like, hey, this is scripted. We're gonna throw some, attractive looking women and dudes towards your way that are
yeah,
athletically just freakishly gifted, and we're gonna put on a good show for you. And like they let you know that. And hey, like,
yeah,
cool. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna go balls deep in WWE every single day. But like, if somebody wants to go and like, hey, want to check this shit out? Absolutely, man. Let's go check it out. Let's get a
yeah,
good show, like medieval times, right? Like, it's scripted, it's fake, but like, I get to see dudes in armor fighting each other, and I get to eat while I'm doing it. Fucking win.
yeah. Um, yeah. No, it's it's fun. Um, the NFL has a great situation scenario. They just need to make sure that they reel in and rope in what they're doing. Um,
Yeah, agreed.
because people can see through a lot of the bullshit, and there is bullshit. There's always going to be bullshit in anything you do. But when 31 of the suspected teams slash fan bases are like, this is fucked. Um, yeah, and then the
Right,
president
right.
slash whoever's running the organization comes out and is like, "You guys are morons for thinking that." It's like,
Yeah,
okay, yeah, let's think about that before you say that, pal. Like, who's your
and that's just
PR person? Because you probably should fire them and fire yourself because you're an idiot. Both of you guys are idiots.
I really do. And I think almost for the integrity of the game, I really think that the Eagles needed to win this because
Hmm.
I feel like football fandom would have changed drastically
Hmm.
had it have been another game where the refs just were
Yeah,
completely in
yeah.
favor of KC. And I'm
No,
glad that wasn't the case because
no,
it really was it was a pretty overall fair game called.
it
It
was.
really was.
It was a very fair game, and I agree with you that. If this would have gone the Chiefs' way, and not even just the Chiefs dominating, that would have been a different story. But if the Chiefs would have won and then would have won off of like a terrible call,
Yeah.
uh,
I
we
mean,
we we're talking like astronaut. Like people already were just like game and match with this already, and this kind of reeled everything back in a little bit. I don't think it reeled back anything in with the refs because
Yeah.
everyone knows once you get out in front of a team like two to definitely three scores, uh, you you can't really officiate that because if you do,
Yeah.
people will blatantly see
It becomes
that.
yeah, and I think
So
one of those examples, 'cause just while we're on it,
yeah,
that you did see, and you can't even say it was the refs. It truly was just like a complete offensive collapse. And I know Matt Ryan's about to just fucking piss his pants wherever he's at, but that 28-3 Super Bowl comeback, man. I
yeah,
mean, you can't even say, "Oh, this is the refs." Like, no, that was just an
yeah.
offensive implosion on Atlanta's part, and TB12 doing TB12 things,
Yeah.
man.
Tom Brady. That guy will go down in history as the GOAT, and I don't ever see anyone else taking over that
Yeah.
like
Here, I'll
anytime
tell you.
soon. Anytime
I
soon.
will tell you this though, and I'm about to make you as well as every other Packer fan probably get a little bit wet right now. So
Whoa!
hold on to your panties. But
Hey, what if I'm not wearing panties?
oh fuck, even better. You might have me getting a little drip in there. But no, I will say this. Even hold on. I got to really put this on though, because I at
Yeah.
least got to make sure that we're representing this correctly as
Yeah.
we are getting this. Let me see. Is that visible? All right, there we go. Beautiful.
What's the C
So
for?
so stands for go fuck yourself.
Like
Let's. I mean,
wait,
but I will say
wait,
this:
hold on. Like co fuck yourself? Like co
like fuck yourself, like co parenting, co-op, fuck
go fuck
yourself.
yourself. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I get it.
So I will say this: TB12 career wise, oh, he's the goat. Like
Mhm.
it or not, he's
He is.
numero uno.
Yeah,
He has set the precedent.
yeah,
Like that's numero uno.
yeah. Top
Um,
dog.
now here's the part that's going to get your grippers a little bit wet.
Okay.
So
You're getting
at
me
his
excited.
prime,
Let's go. Let's go.
at his at his prime, mind you, I'm a Bears fan saying this. At his prime, Aaron Rodgers was the best quarterback of all time. At his prime,
Man, you did get my
I
fucking panties
I
wet there.
I that's what I'm saying, and I can tell you this: I fucking hated every time I looked at Chicago's schedule and I would just see Green Bay. I was like, motherfucker, here it goes.
Fuck that
Because I
guy.
mean, and let's talk about this. This is what's gonna piss Packer fans back off because we need to keep a balance here. We can't just fucking be glazing Packtown too hard.
It's true.
But I really fucking hate when people say Favre so much better than Aaron Rodgers. Not even close. Not even remotely. Like Favre was a gunslinger. Calling it what it
Oh,
is.
he was.
I mean, he just had oodles of touchdowns. Sure. I mean, the guy had the record for most interceptions in a career. Aaron Rodgers looked like a surgeon out there, where he was just so
Yeah.
technical and carving everybody up. It was like you had the chess master of Peyton Manning combined with the physicality of every favorite quarterback you've ever had.
Hmm?
It was such a dangerous combination, and it's just a shame that he only won one ring, and I think that's partially due to the playoff choke factor. But yes, prime Rodgers, best QB of all time.
I I will 100% agree with you on that. And I am a huge Aaron Rodgers fan. Um, and you could say that on like his personality or just how he carries himself or how he fucking throws the ball. I don't really care. Dude fucking can ball, whatever. And I put him up there all day long with um, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
he's
Drew
up there.
Brees,
Yeah, he's up there, one of the greats. Yeah, he didn't get all the championships and Super Bowls that he should have got, but the one thing, And the one thing that I've fallen completely off of the Packers, I wear Packers stuff. There's a Packer flag that's above the Vikings flag that it's called
And,
the
I mean, they're both pretty fucking ugly, but I get
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's divided. But I honestly have fallen off completely of the Packer um like when I watch football now, I just watch football, honestly. And then I have like a team at that time that I want to win. But the Packers have pissed me off. And not the Packers like people or the players have pissed me off. No. It's been the people that make the top uh
Are we
organization.
talking like Turner and Company, like the actual like front office aspect,
Yeah,
or what are we
yeah, yeah,
talking?
front office.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, we're talking about the front office. They're rats, they're turds, they're fucks. I don't like them. And I'm over it. I'm over it. And when Jordy Nelson got traded, and I understand there was a cap, and we can all do the conspiracy thing. Well, Aaron Rodgers could have took a fucking hit and then kept him. But the fact that the Packers didn't try and like the the whole point of an organization is to win Super Bowls.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it comes
That
down
is the
to. I mean, what
100%
are
whole
you
point.
doing if you're not?
Yeah, that is the whole point. So I could be 100% wrong on the date, but it was about 2016, 2017 around there. It was right after Jordan Nelson came off his Achilles, or not Achilles, but his knee injury. He was
Yeah,
still,
and then no contacts. That was
yeah,
brutal. Yeah.
he was still good, but he was coming off there, boom, and then we had Devontae Adams on his way up at that time. And they were like, because the Packers are really good at this. They're really good at drafting people and then just putting them into play. And then they're like, wow, these guys are the smartest people ever. And they rode the coattails. Green Bay has rode the coattails of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. They have rode the coattails. If anyone's riding any coattails, it's Green Bay. Green Bay has rode the coattails. I love Green Bay as in their stadium. I love their fans. But the front office can literally lick my nutsack because they don't understand anything besides we need to rebuild. We need to rebuild. We need to rebuild.
You
And
know,
guess what? You had arguably two of the best quarterbacks
you got 30 plus years of Hall of
in
Fame
decades.
quarterback play. Yeah,
And what'd you win?
absolutely.
Two. You
Two.
won two Super
It's
Bowls.
right.
Two Super Bowls.
It should have been like six.
Yeah.
It should have been.
Yeah. And guess
Like,
what? Patrick Mahomes, who I don't agree is even remotely better than either of them. Even though Brett Favre was a gunslinger, that guy was fun to watch, but that guy had an arm and that guy had a talent to
as much credit at QB I'll give him, I just got to go
like
on record and say I still think Favre is very much a piece of shit. But go
oh
on,
yeah,
continue.
oh yeah. Well, he's a
One of
turd.
those separate the art from the artist moments.
He's a turd. You can think of whatever you want off the football field, but that guy that guy can that guy can wheel the ball. That guy knows what he's doing, and that guy he's damn good. And he throws
Yeah,
a fuck ton of interceptions. But he also he never would have gotten where he was just being safe. Never.
yeah.
Because he would have been in the
I feel
slums.
like Josh Allen is like Brett Favre, a little more cleaned up, but with the ability to run.
Yes. Well, Brett Favre ran early, so I guess we'll find out when Josh Allen gets a
Yeah,
little older. But
yeah, right, right.
damn. Yeah. I don't know. I just despise the Packers front office. We got off tangent, but yeah.
No, but hey, I'll tell you what. While we're on that, when you brought up the riding the coattails thing, I will tell you this: prior to this off season,
Mhm.
I because I have not thought highly of the Chicago coaching staff for a very long time.
Yeah.
I did have a slight glimmer of hope that first year with Nagy, because I mean, calling it what it is, Coach of the Year, came out 12-4. Fuck Cody Parkey. He pretty much single handedly fucked us that season with missed field goal after missed field goal. I mean, our offense was kind of whatever, but we had a Super Bowl caliber defense that year. Should have should have at least been there. I mean, Mac was phenomenal that year. We had Akeem Hicks plugging up the middle, Eddie Jackson. I mean, we had a bunch of defensive studs. I mean, and not to mention on top of that, when you look at that coaching staff, it was solid. But outside of that, everybody's ridden the coattails of, oh, the '85 Bears, the Super Bowl shuffle. It's like, dude, I was born in 1995. I wasn't even in my daddy's sack swimming yet when the Bears won their Super Bowl last. I mean, I got to see, like, as a kid, I'm 10 years old watching Devin Hester return the
Yep.
opening kickoff of the Super Bowl. Fucking great. And then I got to learn very early at 10 that dreams don't always come true. And I got to watch Peyton Manning light the fuck up out of my team the rest of the game. So, and not to mention Rex Grossman choke it away. So, little bit of history for you.
That is really good history. Let's start it off there. All right, here we go. So let's talk top 5 defenses all time.
All time.
All
Let's get
time
it.
top defenses. We'll start 5 and we'll go down. We each say our
Are we going 5-1? Are we
yep
doing any particular order? Okay.
five
Okay.
5-1, and I also got the Bleacher Report. Their top 5.
Okay.
So I will start with the Bleacher Report. I will go with mine. And then you can go, and
Perfect.
then we can either snake draft, so you can come back, or I can
Yeah.
go, or I can go back with
Yeah. Either or. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's hear this bleak report. I got
Yep.
my list in front of me too, and then
But
you
yeah,
rattle it off.
we'll snake draft. So we'll just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Perfect. Let's do it.
So we'll start off with the Bleacher Report. Top 5 best defenses all time. Bleacher Report picked the 5th place one as the 2002 Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Not a bad poll. That's definitely top 10 for me, but not top 5.
Okay. I then went with the 2002 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I didn't do it just because I saw that. I went with it. I went with it
Yeah,
because
Derek Brooks and company, amazing.
because that team in 2002 was, their offense was subpar, like not great, not perfect, just they were
I mean, you had the A train though. The
we
A train is
they
not to be trifled with.
they were very good at running, but they were not like, they're not going to punch you in the mouth. We'll just say that. But their
That's
defense
fair.
was going to punch you in their mouth,
Oh,
and
for sure.
and that's what elevated them to what they were. And what really put this into perspective was, and I just saw this video earlier. I might have even sent it to you, but it was Tom Brady talking about how defenses used to be like hit in your mouth. They're coming to hit
Oh
you
yeah.
in the mouth, but they're going to hit you in the mouth in the correct ways. They're not here to just like throw their head, like how people do terrible tackles now. I truly think it's just terrible technique and terrible tackling. I
I don't know
get,
why we got rid of the drop hip tack or the drop tackle either. The drop hip
yeah,
tackle being banned
yeah,
didn't make a lot of sense to me. It seems like the wrong things are getting banned from
yeah,
the league.
but it's all about um, tackling correctly. Like, stop
Yeah.
throwing your body into it. Stop throwing your head into it. If you're grabbing and wrapping up and trying to like tackle someone, you still have the potential to get injured. I get that. It's a physical sport.
Oh, especially when you're going after guys
Yes.
like, Derrick Henry,
Yes.
Saquon. Like
Yeah.
he's
But
just wrecking ball backs.
but if you're wrapping up and tackling, it's a safer thing. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at that point were those guys. They're gonna hit you in the
Oh,
mouth,
yeah.
but they're gonna hit you in the mouth in like a physically aggressively. There's still gonna be cheap shots. They
Just
did cheap,
dominant.
yes, they did cheap shots back in the day, but it was good. And they Warren Sapp, even though he was kind of a fucking we're not gonna
Derek
talk.
Brooks was
We're not
insanely
going to talk
good.
about his past life after that, but Warren Sapp was a menace. That guy was a menace. He fucking could come into the backfield and make something terrible. And terrible in the way that you don't want it. And yeah, so
Yeah,
2002.
not terrible in like a choke me a little and we're gonna have some fun type of way, but like a just terrible,
Yes,
terrible
terrible.
type of way.
Watch out, man. What's your fifth one?
My fifth, I have the '08 Steelers.
Ooh.
I truly feel like that crew redefined a lot of the rules that we have today.
Mhm.
I mean, call it what it is. You had James Harrison, you
Yeah,
had Troy Polamalu. I mean, these were guys that would shave years off your life if
yeah,
they hit you.
yeah,
And I mean, I truly feel like between them and guys around well, we'll get into other guys later because I do have one of those teams on my list.
yeah,
But we'll just stick with it for now. I mean, that team effectively took away the slant route. Anything over the middle was getting popped.
yeah.
I really feel like after the '08 Steelers, that's when you started to see a lot of these rules come into place to protect the receivers a little bit more because they were just getting lit the fuck up.
Yeah. No, no, I almost put them in my top 10. I will say this that the Bleacher Report does everything, and you're going to see a few teams that we've never like truly seen in our lifetime. So like
Oh, for sure.
so
Like, I mean, I would imagine.
yeah.
Well, I don't want to
Yeah.
spoil your list, but there's a
Yeah,
couple I can
but
think of.
the Bleacher Report said a few teams that I've never actually personally seen. So I tried to keep it as non-biased as I could, but I kept it to the teams that I personally have seen. But then
Yeah,
but I also looked at a little bit of the stats because I was like, I can't ignore that. Like, you can't not put
for
them in there.
sure.
So like, I agree with you. That '08, '07, even '09, like all around that area, they were solid.
I
And
mean, and they finished it with a Super Bowl win.
yeah, they
Never
did.
against Larry Fitzgerald, Kurt
Yeah,
Warner, in
yeah,
Arizona. You know.
yeah. So yeah, I would definitely put them in my top 10. Not my bottom top 10, but they were definitely like 8 through 10th if I had to put them somewhere.
I
Definitely
feel
top
that.
10. Definitely top 10. Um, but yeah, I couldn't put them in my top 10 just because they were better teams. And there were better teams, I personally think, just slightly that missed that little bit. But
That little bit of a gap. I
yeah,
get
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I, I I
But
definitely feel like that. To be fair, like if I look at my top 10,
mm,
I feel like the five, like that 5 to 9 range, is like pretty
yeah,
interchangeable.
like so close. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, what's your fourth then? So we'll come back this way.
Okay, so my fourth got the Legion of Boom 2013 Seahawks. That is what I would have as my number
Yeah,
four.
yeah. Um, you have anything to say about that?
I mean, dude, I mean, let's look at it. I mean, Richard Sherman before he was washed out like my laundry. I mean, he was prime cornerback at that point. Like, there wasn't a better CB in the league than
Yeah,
Richard Sherman that year. There just wasn't.
yeah,
I mean, you had Bobby Wagner playing incredible. I mean, the guy is a monster. You
yeah,
had Cam Chancellor, who like redefined the safety position that year. So I mean, everybody looked at that guy and they were like, ah, you know, he's too stiff. He doesn't have the hip mobility that these safeties do. And he came out and was just like, bet, and
yeah,
just fucking labeled people, man.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, that was a different type of defense. I mean, granted, so they had like on the offensive side of the ball, you know, you had Curse, you had Lynch, you had Wilson, but that defense was just the heart and soul of that team. I mean, that was the 13th man inspired team right there. It just was insane.
yeah. They
Who did you have as your four?
same ones.
Right.
I have the the 13 Seahawks. They were good.
Yeah.
I think that was around the same time, if not that same year, they beat the Patriots in the
Uh, what? Well, hold on. Who the fuck did they play that year? I'm blanking on that one.
here.
I believe you're right, though.
Look it up.
Was it? No, because well, let's see. The one year they ended up the Malcolm Butler interception was the year that should have ran it in with Lynch. Man,
Yeah, and they fucked that up.
they should have ran it. Yeah, they fucked that up. Um,
maybe I'm thinking of that one,
yeah, because
but
I'm trying to think. I feel like who the fuck did they beat? I'm totally blanking on that.
hold on, let me look it up real quick. NFL Super Bowl.
Was it Ravens?
It might have been that. Hold on, they're trying to tell me about this Super Bowl. I'm like, I don't care about the Super Bowl. I don't care about
Yeah,
this Super Bowl. I
was
don't
it?
care. I don't care.
I think it was Ravens.
Give me the Super Bowls for fucking sake. Game history? No. Thanks a lot. There we go. Games. Here we go. No, stop. God. You know how big Google is? Like, they're just so inadequate. Like I don't care about like if I miss the Super Bowl this year, like you don't need to tell me like 14 times. Just give me the history of Super Bowls.
You
Oh,
could just type in like 2013 Seahawks and see
you
what
know what?
comes up.
It's probably a better idea there. Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Dad.
I'm full of that's just the beauty of the things I say is I put out only pearls or shit, and it's up for you to decipher what's what.
Well, the 2013 Super Bowl was when they kicked the shit out of the Broncos, the Peyton Manning one.
Ah,
The
yes,
43
yes.
to 0
To
or 43 to 8, sorry.
I was gonna
43
say, I thought they put up 8.
yeah,
Yeah,
8. So,
that was fucking wild. Well, oh yes, because the Seahawks and Ravens was
yeah.
Lewis's second Super Bowl win,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
that's where this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So,
Okay.
but either way, they had a stellar defense. That defense carried the offense. The offense was good but not great, and
Yeah.
that defense was fucking lights
I
out.
mean, dude, I got to tell you, like that offense for me was insane as well.
Mhm.
It was. I mean, I'm a huge Lynch fan
Yeah.
on and off the field. I truly feel like even if you look back to his college days, some of the things that guy did, I feel like if the internet was a little bit more relevant back then, a little more
Yeah.
mainstream, that guy would have been the biggest superstar ever. Like
Yeah.
everybody, like that dude is loved everywhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, I mean, what a guy. It's just to put it simple.
Yeah. Well, the Bleacher Report for their fourth one, they did the 2000 Ravens as their fourth one.
The disrespect.
I know that is disrespect. When I saw it, I was like, especially when you hear what the third one is, like,
Okay,
um,
so correct me if I'm wrong. Well, yeah, let's touch on this. Do they have any notes from Bleacher Report as to what their
uh,
reasoning is for? Like that
they,
doesn't give too much away.
I would have to look it back up. They basically gave like a long paragraph of like, they didn't like say specific. They just gave like not specific. Like they weren't like, hey, the Ravens were better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because of this. So they never like proclaimed. So they obviously said Tampa Bay was fifth. They never said like they're better because of this. They never gave stats. They just named plot points basically. You're missing important plot points. That's from
You went in my jockey's ear.
anger management. So they never said exactly. So I didn't like read far into it. I just put it on there and then gave gave what it is. Um, and yeah, yeah, you'll just see what they're. So we'll come back now. We'll come back. So now Bleacher
Yeah.
Report does their. Well, no, they did their fourth. So oh geez, I'm fucked up. I'm fucked up now. I'm fucked up. So now they'll say their third because we're doing snake
Okay.
draft. We're doing snake draft.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Snake four, snake draft.
Absolutely.
That's what's confusing me. So their third was the
That's
1991
hard.
1991 um, Eagles.
Okay.
So
It's not in my top 5, but
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah,
up there.
yeah. So I that's where like I just so
Yeah. It's
so so the like I picked every area that I picked, and then this third one's gonna make more sense, is I picked that team, but it wasn't just that year. Because usually a defense is good not just for that year. They're usually good for
Yeah,
like
like a stretch.
yeah, like the year before
Yeah,
and the year after, like a minimum of three. They're usually good for a minimum,
right.
like if they're good defense. You're not just good for like one season. If you're good for one season, you're not gonna make this
Now,
list.
I will tell you this: like, I was in exactly for the list,
Yes.
100%. But I was going to say there are those seasons. Like, look at that the Super Bowl year that Chicago went and played Manning and the Colts that same year. If you look at that year, statistically, the Bears were like, you look at it on paper and you're like, how the fuck is this team in the Super Bowl? And it was
Mhm.
because the takeaway game was just insane. You had
But
the peanut punch with Tillman just knocking everything out. You
yeah,
had guys that were just creating
well,
fumbles left and right, getting picks, and that was really the difference maker.
so so my third, going off of their Eagles was the
Yeah.
70s. So I said 70s.
Okay.
So I'm taking a whole decade.
I think okay. So I think we're about to have about the same third, but go ahead.
You're saying there's a chance.
So you're
Uh,
saying there's a chance.
I'm taking the Steelers because the Steel Curtain. Because
Yeah.
I've heard so much about them. I've seen clips, I've seen stats. I'd never lived it. It was way before
Yeah.
my time.
Oh,
Um,
for sure. Same here. I
they
mean, hell, that was almost before my dad's time.
Yeah. So like they deserve a spot up here for because it wasn't a 1 year thing. Um
Yeah.
it, it
I did limit mine though to 1 year, to be fair, because I did
that's
also pick a
yes.
year of
Yes.
Steel Curtain, but I went
Yeah.
with the 76.
Yeah. That's totally fine because the Bleacher Report did that and I like that's where this is the only one team that I never
Yeah.
saw that I well, that's a lie. Um
I've seen like videos and whatnot, because
yeah.
obviously, like,
So
I never got to check it out.
yeah. So like so I had to give them a third. Um they're just they they exactly what the name was. Steel Curtain. They stop
Yeah.
people.
I think
They 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 are what they are and they are what we thought they were. So
De- Dennis Green's rolling in his grave right now every time.
um and I will say this. Um the Chicago Bears that what was it?
Or who we thought they were.
Oh 08 oh 08 oh 09 when they went to this when was that? When they went
Uh, so you're talking the NFC Championship game
yeah. Was that
where
oh 08?
they lost the Packers. No, that would have been
No,
10, 11.
when they went to the Super Bowl.
Oh, no, that was 05, 06.
Was that okay? Jesus.
Yeah. Yep.
Um but
Or, well, yeah, oh 06,
yeah,
yeah.
oh 06, oh 06, yeah.
Yep.
Um I wanted to put them on my top five, but once I started really like peeling back all the edges, I was like, I can't put them on my
It
top five.
is. Like, as I
But
said,
but
it really was like the takeaway game.
they are honestly probably my seventh overall 10 because they carry that team. Like I
Oh,
like
yeah.
for being
Devin
a
Hester and the defense
for
were the
being a
reason that
yeah
team was
well,
there.
for being a Packers fan and like if I'm gonna let one organization
Yeah.
in the NFC North win. Definitely not gonna be Minnesota. Minnesota is the biggest trash goblins, the biggest goblins that can stand at the bridge.
But they have the most division titles.
That that they can have all the division titles they want. I don't care. Who cares? Who cares about that? The only people that have actual Super Bowls are the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. And I'm pretty sure the Detroit Lions will probably get it in the next few years here before they
Man,
catch.
it's kind of hard to say though, because man, I love Dan Campbell. I
Yeah.
love Dan Campbell. He has that coaching energy where I don't even play for the fucking team, and I would run through a fucking wall for Dan Campbell.
Yeah, coach, let's
Like,
do
this
this.
guy,
Yeah.
let's fucking do it. Like, I get so fucking pumped for Dan Campbell, dude. I'm telling
Yeah.
you. And I
Well,
mean, who wouldn't?
I
But
I
like, he lost all of his fucking coaching staff this year.
uh well I
Thanks, Dan Campbell.
I blamed it. I blamed it on they didn't wear their the black jerseys with the blue helmet because those are the badass.
It would have been. Those are slick. I won't
Those,
even bullshit. Those are
their
really slick.
their other normal home uniforms are garbage.
Yeah.
Just throw those out.
Yeah, the black ones are fucking
Yeah.
nice, man. They really are.
They're
And I
sharp.
mean, you ever been to Detroit?
No.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you what.
Once
Yeah,
hey, hold on. Once they stopped building Dodge Neons, I left there.
I'll tell you, man. I just went for the first time this past September here, and I gotta say, man,
Yeah.
a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's certain recreational activities that I got hooked up with at the cookout, and it was all good.
Hey,
But yeah, a lot of cool places there. Got to hang out right on the border of Canada there. Beautiful area. A lot of history. We drove right by Ford Stadium down there.
yeah.
It's kind of a weird little stadium though, because it's gonna sound like I'm just talking shit. I've never been on the inside of it, but it doesn't really look like much from the
Yeah.
outside, man. It looks like a big ass brick building.
Well,
It just is.
they haven't had enough funds to change it up, pal. Hey, I'm not.
I
I'm
mean,
not.
I'm probably like
I,
20% of the economy.
I'm not shitting on Detroit. I honestly love Detroit. Detroit,
For sure. Shout out 313.
Detroit. I appreciate it. I'd have to really sit down and think if it's Detroit or Chicago. That's my second favorite. If we're just talking but Minnesota's the worst. They suck. Eat my ass. They're the worst. So, even though I got a flag back there,
Purple people eaters, more like eat my ass eaters.
yeah, basically. Even though I will say this, the Purple People Eaters did not make the list, and they were sixth. I put them at six
Yeah,
because
I did
I
not have them on my top
I
five.
just couldn't put them in my top five. If you
Yeah,
can't win, if they would have won a Super Bowl, then I could. But
yeah.
I
I
never
will
did.
say though, regarding that third, while we were on the third, because I just
Yes.
want to bring this point up. For that, because I had the 76 Steelers I put. Like, I know you had like the decade of it for the Steel Curtain, and
Is
Steel
this
Curtain is
uh,
awesome.
is this your third?
Uh, this is my third.
The
My
76?
third is 76 Steelers is
Okay,
my
okay.
third. I I gotta say, I think the big reason why I chose 76, because like call it what it is,
Yeah.
that decade of defense was amazing.
Yeah.
It just is. It's the Steel Curtain for a reason. But what's special about the 76 Steelers that a lot of people don't realize, 22 straight quarters without a touchdown. Do you know how insane that
Yeah.
is?
Yeah.
Like 22 straight quarters.
Yeah.
That's 5.5 games worth of no touchdowns. That's fucking insanity.
Well, that's why they got the name Steel Curtain.
Yeah, like fuck, man. Like
No, that's super impressive. I was gonna pick just that year. I just gave it to 70s because I was like, I've heard of the Steel Curtain, and I'm just giving the 70s, so that's why. But what's your second?
my second. Okay, so let me just say this.
It's the
It's just
Arizona Cardinals 2003 season. It was probably the most epic because they stopped the Minnesota Vikings at one drive, and it was probably my favorite drive. So it is the second favorite.
I
Spot
get it. You gotta pick the pretty close, Chief. Pretty close. So before I tell the pick, I'll say this, and it should be noted that it's kind of been the same with my previous picks as well.
on.
Um, so with each of these, it may not be like if you stacked every one up against the current day era. Yeah, like the current day era might be a different story.
Yeah.
But I'm talking for the time
Yeah.
that team was.
Yeah.
And what it was, like that's kind of how we're ranking these.
Yeah.
Got to go with the 85 Bears, man. 85 Bears was
Wow.
insane.
Wow.
Insane.
I
Don't tell me you got the 85 Bears for your two.
I
Do you have
I
that for your two?
I am. Do you have anything to say about that?
So I will say this. So the 85 Bears, and I will say this. The 85 Bears
Yeah.
is, if you know anything about football formations, the 46 Bear
Yeah.
was created by Buddy Ryan. So the 46 Bear, in its simplest form, is overwhelm the quarterback with
Mhm.
staggering numbers. That's
Mhm.
that's the main thing. So they had guys that were just stacking the box. You'd typically have three guys in coverage, a cornerback on either side with one high safety. Everybody else was right in that box, whether they were playing soft zones coming at the QB, but minimally, like at any given time, you got five guys at least coming at the quarterback. I mean, and it's phenomenal to
Yeah.
see. Now, I mean, in the current day offense, like that's why nobody figured it out at the time, and that's why it worked. And that's what was so revolutionary about that defensive scheme that Buddy Ryan developed was, the 46 Bear. But I mean, you eventually figure out, oh shit, if we plug in a fullback, we get that little bit of extra protection we need to get this shit off. And that's ultimately what kind of nullified a little bit of the 46. I mean, it still could be
Yeah.
useful, but not as. But yeah, man, I mean, hell, you go 15-1, you win a Super Bowl, you've got sacks galore, you've got takeaways. And I think a lot of it was just the intimidation factor because it wasn't even so much like, hey, we might not always get the sack, but the amount of pressure that they would bring. And if you watch the old film of the 85 Bears, I don't think quarterbacks were ever more afraid of a team than the 85 Bears. Like
Yeah.
they were going out for blood.
Mhm.
And if you listen to those guys talk, whether it was Singletary, Otis Wilson, Gary Fensick, the Fridge, like all these super studs that were on this team, they were about it, man. Like
Yeah.
they were ready for blood and they were going after the quarterback. That is what they did. And like I might be a little biased wearing this here, but like that team was phenomenal. And the only game that they lost that season, ironically enough, was to the Dolphins, who just had to be the only team with a perfect Super Bowl season. Fuck them.
Well,
But even that game, watching it, it was one of those games where it wasn't necessarily like a bad game by Chicago. It was just a lot of things that were happening weird, like deflected balls bouncing right into the receivers on their routes, like just really weird shit. But that was the only game they lost all season. So 85 Bears at 2. That is why I have them at 2.
well, wow. Um, I put the 2000 Ravens as my second one.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and the reason why I stuck them as number two is because they were in your face. They are the epitome of menaces. They're the epitome of you'd never want to see them in the light of day or night. They're terrible. They'll plow you down. Um, I feel like if that team could be brought into any sort of prime time, like if we brought them now from their 2000 era and let them like adapt to what,
Unleash
yeah,
until the current
yeah,
NFL.
they would murder everyone, every time. They were
Ray
something.
Homicide Lewis.
Yeah, they were something else. They were um brilliant, brilliant.
Yeah.
Ed Reed, Lewis, even though Lewis
Suggs.
may or may not have
Well,
murdered
Suggs,
someone,
Suggs
it
after, but
doesn't
yeah,
matter. It doesn't matter.
yeah, yeah.
You
I
have
mean,
to.
between Lewis and Reed, though, that was just
Oh yeah, they had some. They're magical. They were fucking magical, and even as a young child, I knew when I watched that, you could feel the intensity through the screen that they were going to hit you in the mouth. Like it wasn't like we're tackling, like obviously you see people tackle. It was like
oh
a
yeah,
poof, and you could oh my fucking TV's
You
shaking. I
know,
need to hold it up here. Like, Jesus Christ.
that's one security deposit we're not getting back.
Son, get up there and hold that screen.
I
I don't want it to
swear.
fall.
And I'll tell you, side note with that,
Ed
did you
Reed's
ever
about
see?
to sack the quarterback, and I need you to hold that up there. Yes, father.
Did have most. Have you ever seen this? You remember sports science?
Roughly, yeah.
Okay, so I distinctively remember, and this is what was fucking wild to me. So on sports science, they had like a door frame, kind of like just a door frame
Mhm.
that they had just kind of set up in the middle of this field. They kind of reinforced it, did whatever. And then they obviously put the door on and made sure like the door was attached and hinged properly.
Yeah.
But then what they did was they took a SWAT captain with a battering ram and they ended up like having him hit the door with a pressure plate to measure
Yeah.
like how much force was being generated. If I remember correctly, it was something like 500-600 pounds of force that this
Mhm.
battering ram was
Yeah.
generating.
Yeah.
And it busted the door wide open,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So then they had Ray Lewis
Plow into it.
come up and plow this fucking door. And it registered. And not only did he open this door, he took the fucking door off the hinges when hitting it and registered 1,200 pounds of fucking force. Like, do you realize that's like getting hit with a small car?
Oh, yeah.
Like the average American wouldn't survive that.
Yeah. No, I like it's it's insane. Like we could sit here and talk about how like pads and everything has gotten smaller.
Yeah.
Like the pads have gotten so much smaller because it's faster, it's lighter. But at the same time, the pads protect you. I don't know why they got away from that. Obviously, there's nothing that can ever protect your brain because it doesn't matter if you have like
Side note, what do you think of those
I can have
Guardian
the
caps?
biggest I can have the biggest helmet like this. It doesn't matter because
That's
when
called the
my
Jimmy
head goes like
Neutron.
this, my head stops, but my brain isn't a part of my head. So my brain's in fluid and it goes cuckoo and it plows into the fucking front of my head. Like I don't think people understand that.
Yeah.
Your brain is in water in your head, and it doesn't matter if you have this little soft cap. It doesn't matter if you could have the biggest fucking helmet and be like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna get affected." Your brain is in water in your head, and it goes like cocoon. And when it hits your
Quite the
fucking
biology lesson.
yes, like I I I only have a high school
Yeah, no, I
degree.
mean, really,
I only have a high
simply
school
football.
degree, but I understand that. Like it's not
I think it's
difficult.
just called a diploma, buddy.
Oh, diploma, sorry. Like it's not
What?
it's it's not even that it's a simple like oh man, that's so frustrating when people are like so it's not inevitable to like stop concussions, but
Yeah.
it's it is almost because you can have like I could fall down the
You
stairs.
can slow it down for sure,
You
but
can,
it's going to be a
but
part of the
but
game.
but
Yeah.
I could fall on the stairs as a person, like just falling down the stairs and get a concussion because
Yeah.
my brain will move in the fluid, and if it hits my brain, my skull hard enough, that's what makes a concussion.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
like like some people get concussions easier than others. Obviously, once you get a concussion, it makes it easier to have another one. So like
Yeah. I got to say, I'm lucky. I've never had one, dude.
yeah,
And it's amazing because I've been
no.
hit in the head quite a lot over the years. It's probably why I'm so pretty.
But it's like I don't know. So we got off on a tangent on that, but like and that's
Yeah, I
just
know for sure.
that's frustrating to me when people are like, oh, like you're never gonna protect that in NASCAR. When you're driving in your
Yeah.
car, you can't protect
What,
that.
200 plus miles an
Yeah.
hour? I mean, yeah,
Well,
dude, absolutely.
even in your normal car, if you get in a car accident, you're gonna hit the
Yeah.
airbag, and what? Your head's going forward. Oh, thank goodness it hit that soft pillow. What's my what's my brain gonna do?
I
Kong.
mean, even if you look at that Earnhardt crash, man, I mean, if you look at the crash itself compared
It
to like other
it it
crashes, it doesn't look
Oh
that
no,
bad.
it doesn't.
But
But
I mean, at those
it,
speeds, like that's just it.
it snapped the back of his neck basically. So
Yeah,
there's a spot up there. It's a very small one, and it basically snapped his spinal cord off his brain, which
yeah,
which so
yeah, man.
that's why NASCAR drivers now have a helmet and they have a Hans device that goes over their shoulders and all that, and then it connects up to their
Like
helmet.
a neck brace kind
Yes.
of roll.
So
Yeah,
it only allows your head to go like that far, not even. It only
yeah,
allows it to go so far because what killed Dale Earnhardt was that. That's what
yeah.
killed him. It was such a fast like snap that it went like that. Snapped his brain off his spinal cord basically. That's literally I'm not a doctor, but that's literally what happened.
You're not shouting they took our jobs to Muhammad the neurologist.
It's so like it doesn't I don't know. Like I love sports and I love the aggression, but you as an individual take that into consideration. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love that. But it's scary for individuals because when you have that, like I hate when people are like, we need to make this sport safer. We need to yes, I agree with that. I agree with that. But what are you gonna do? You gonna put airbags in people's brains? You can't. You literally can't. You can't. Shut the fuck up. You sound stupid. You literally sound stupid. Oh, we
I
can.
will say, I do think that argument for the Guardian, like, don't get me wrong, like anything that shows there's data to show,
Yeah,
like, hey, this is going to negate the number of concussions that we have, or not
it
necessarily
does.
negate, but like at least lessen the
Yeah,
number of concussions that we're
it
going to have.
does.
Cool, I'm all for it. I think it is kind of a dumb argument that people try to like argue with these players, like take that fucking Guardian cap off. It looks stupid. It's just like, if a
Yeah,
dude wants to wear that to
yeah,
try and not piss his pants by the time
yeah.
he retires, just an everyday conversation, let him wear that fucking Guardian cap.
No, I,
You know
I,
what I mean? But
I personally don't care. If someone wants to wear it,
right,
wear it. I truly don't care. But the fact that you're trying to mandate, like, don't ever mandate something that you can't like back up with like 100%. Like, even
for
even
sure,
even
like hard
even
evidence for
80,
this.
even 55. Like, because it's all about the brain. The brain is everything that controls everything I'm doing, everything you can do. Like, your brain is just floating around in fluid. So until someone can like drill something into your brain to like hold it in
They
spot.
just they need to get like plankton in there and just tape it down like they did in SpongeBob. That's the way to do it.
Jesus. Well, now we're getting completely off
Wait,
topic. um. So the Bleacher Report for their second one, they said the 1976 Steelers like you, but they said it for their second rather than their
instead of
third.
their third. Okay, okay.
So
Well, Bleacher Report, it seems like you're not as fucking dumb as I thought you were.
they're wearing a Guardian cap. uh,
Oh,
then, since we're going back, the Bleacher Report picked the 1985 Bears as their number uno.
they're numero uno. I at least respect them for the heritage. And as much as I love the Bears, I have it at my two. It's not my uno. But yeah, anything you'd like to say about their number one before we snake back to is it
Oh no,
to me or to
it's
you?
my turn now. So I'm
Okay,
after
that's what
that.
I thought.
So
I wanted
I'll
to make
say
sure.
I'll say my number one because my number one's the
Yeah.
same as theirs is the 1985 Bears.
Okay.
I think the 1985 Bears is the number one defense ever. Even though you
It's
had some strong points,
it's phenomenal.
um,
It's phenomenal.
the fact that that defense could carry an offense that was subpar at best, subpar.
But Walter Payton though, You got to include
Yeah. Oh
Walter
yeah.
Payton.
Oh yeah. Well, it's
Wow,
not.
dude, this camera.
You know, it, it's all about quarterbacks. You know what I mean? It's all about quarterbacks.
Oh, for
So,
sure. Yeah. I mean,
um,
you were not getting 300 plus yard performances out of Jim McMahon. You
yes,
definitely were not.
yes. So, but they're like
But that guy played with some heart. I'll give him credit. He
he
really did.
did. But it's so hard to not. And then the shuffle, it's great.
So you can't forget
Yeah,
about the Super
yeah,
Bowl shuffle.
yeah. The Super Bowl
I mean, do I
shuffle,
think that we should fucking
like
completely ride the coattails of one team for 40 fucking years? I don't think we should.
yeah,
Which I really do like what's happening with Poles and Johnson right now. And we got Dennis Allen being brought on board. It looks like a great fucking coaching staff, and I'm all for it.
I
But I
I
feel
can't.
like up until this year, I feel like they were just so content about living in the 80 85 season. And it was like, let's fucking go here. We need more.
I can't believe. Well, I can believe because we haven't had a defense that has been that lights out. You know what? Well, since 2013, basically.
Yeah.
And I can't believe the 2013 Seattle Seahawks didn't create their own shuffle to, you know, to like commemorate the 85
Yeah.
Bears and slash put them like because I don't think honestly we're going to see another defense like that. Yes, there's always the quote unquote
Like the
no,
Legion of Boom we're
yeah.
talking, or what?
Well,
Oh,
I,
it'll
I
be a
just don't
hot minute.
I just don't think we're ever going to see maybe not in the next 10 years. I don't think we're going to see the next like good defense. Like obviously there's always a number one
You really
defense.
get like one number one for like the decade,
Yeah.
and I feel like I feel like the Legion of Boom for like the 2010s, like
Mm.
that was the best
Oh yeah.
of that era.
But we haven't like in the last 5 years there hasn't been a consistent defense. Like it's just been like, oh, they're good, they're not good. They're good, they're not good. Like you can look
I
at the
feel that.
Jets. The Jets last year had a top 10 defense and a defense that would, you know, kick you in the mouth. And then
Hmm.
this year, which they didn't change anything. They literally changed nothing. Besides they got rid of their head coach, you know what, 6 or 4 weeks in, somewhere on there.
I think it was like week 4 or 5,
Yeah.
yeah, something like that. Yeah,
And
solid. But hey, but man, ever since Salah left there, I mean, I really don't think that was his fault. I
no, I
truly
don't think
feel like
I don't think so.
Rodgers being a locker room cancer played a big part in that.
I just don't think like it.
He
I
needed to
just don't.
retire like 3 years ago, man. He just did.
I don't think. I think Rodgers still has some fucking some kick ass because his numbers were just right up with Patrick Mahomes, and everyone's like Patrick Mahomes
Oh no, and
had a great season.
that's just it. And I mean, you heard me even say earlier,
So
like as far as like him being like in everybody's prime.
yeah,
I feel like Roger and the
so
numbers don't lie. His
yeah,
QBR at one point was like an average. Like I don't know what it is now over the last couple seasons with the Jets, but I think when he left Green Bay, his career QBR is like a 104. Like it's
yeah.
insane.
So I agree with you. He's a cancer because the NFL has changed in the last like what 6 years roughly, maybe even less than that. It's changed. It's more of a coach league, and it's more about implementing players and just them doing their job in a way. Like eh, Tom Brady would never survive in a league now. Obviously,
I
if he came back,
like
he
at his current age or like what do you mean?
doesn't matter.
Because I feel
His age now or his age like 10 years ago, because Tom Brady always liked to have some sort of insight. He always liked to talk to people. Always liked to be like, "Hey, we should go get this guy. We should like to, you know." He always
yeah.
and
They definitely had a good trifecta between Kraft, Belichick, and Brady in
yeah.
New England for sure.
And then when he went to Tampa, he had insight there. And it's
Yeah.
not it's all about
That was the Avengers that he put together down in Tampa.
it
That was
was.
fucking wild.
It was. It very much was. And like I just there's nothing against all the quarterbacks. Like Josh Allen and all of them are really good, but they're just they and even Hurts who won. They're just not. They're not a Peyton Manning. They're not a Drew Brees. They're not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an older person, and like
No, but I mean, fuck, dude. Look at Drew Brees' 5,000-yard seasons. Like
yeah,
nobody ever wants to talk about that. The guy's got what, like, I
he
think
has,
like 5 or 6.
yeah, and he has one
That's
Super Bowl,
insane.
and he's super short. Like we're talking about like
And he did.
a 5'9" guy under like a
I
six
think he
plus.
isn't he 6 foot. I thought he was 6 foot.
No, he's like 5'9".
Oh,
Look it up
let me
right
see.
now. He's like
I gotta
five
see this.
nine.
I could have swore he was like 6 foot. Let me
No,
see this. Hold on.
he is
We
like
gotta.
5'9". The guy is 5'9". He was so short. Like it is.
I have. So I'm looking right here. It says weight 209 with a height of 6 foot
That is
and a four.
bullshit. He is not 6 foot. If he's 6 foot, then I'm 6'2". And I'm 5'10" on a good day.
Oh no, but no, absolutely. I mean, even regardless though, I mean, fuck, 6 foot even is not. It's really not that tall for a quarterback, especially when you.
No.
So here, perfect example. Let's look at this offensive line, and I believe at one point it actually came across the board to just show how insanely physically gifted the
That
offensive
is
line is for
Oh
field.
my God, that is
Are you?
six
Are you?
foot? No fucking way. That is. Oh my God, I'm gonna find out. Oh, that is criminal.
I'm gonna come to your house, Drew Brees,
That is.
and I'm gonna bring my fucking tape measure.
Yeah, that is criminal. If he's 6 foot, then I'm 6'2". So hey, ladies,
Dude, I mean,
I'm 6'2". I'm a big man. Big man.
so
Uh,
being I'm 6'3", am I just promoted to like 6'6" now?
no, 6'5". We'll only
Oh,
give him
all
two
right,
inches
bet.
shy, pal. 2 inches. You're 6'5", pal.
Fuck.
Uh,
So, but no, I'm good. I gotta recenter here for a minute. But fuck. Oh yes, the Eagles. So as far as like the size of the Eagles go,
yeah.
it just really puts it into perspective, like how impressive it is to be a shorter quarterback, even. Because could you imagine being 6 foot behind the Eagles O line? At one point, they blasted it across the screen to show like how much
Average
bigger they
height. Yeah.
were,
Yeah.
and their average height was 338 pounds at 6'6".
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
those are fucking dude. I'll tell you this, no bullshit. Everywhere, and I can definitively tell you this. Everywhere that I have gone in the
yeah.
last 2 days at 6'3", I've been the tallest person everywhere I go. There's been nobody taller than me I've seen in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is 6'6",
Oh,
that's a fucking monster at
yeah.
338 pounds. Like
Yeah.
I've got kind of a lean build. I'm fucking 210 at 6'3". These motherfuckers got 120 pounds on me and like
Yeah.
3 inches of height. Yeah.
Uh,
It's a
no.
fucking human tank.
But at the same point, I'm not taking anything away from them. They're big dudes, but I know for a fact that they lie because I don't know about you, when I played football in high school, in my senior year, what was I? 5'11",
Yeah.
and they put me at 6 foot, and
That
then
intimidation factor.
yes, and because you'd get the little pamphlet because they'd pass them out,
Right.
you know. So
I guess it was, see, playing
they
in
they they,
Boston, we didn't have
they put me at
anything
six
that
foot.
big.
They put me at 6 foot, and then what was I? 100 and maybe 120 pounds.
Oh damn! Was
Maybe
that your
maybe
senior
120, maybe
year?
125 my senior year. But they would put me at 130 plus. So it'd be 130 pounds.
Damn.
6 foot.
I just
So,
like to eat, I guess.
well, I was barely 5'11" at that time. I'm
Yeah,
5'10". I'm 5'10" now. 100 and
yeah,
maybe 80 pounds. But
yeah.
uh back then I was quote unquote 6 foot, 130 pounds as a senior.
Fuck
No
yeah.
big deal. No big deal.
130 pounds of pure American balls.
Yeah. Actually, that's what they put next to it too. But so like that's why I feel like that's bullshit because I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll research it and I'll figure it out because
dude.
I know Drew Brees is not 6 foot. That guy is either equivalent to my size or shorter, and I know he's shorter. I know it is.
Dude, well, I think now
And
I'll tell you this.
and
Speaking of
and
five nine, Kyler
hold on.
Murray's legit 5'9".
But hold on, Mike. That's what makes it better. Why are you lying about that? If that guy's 5'8" or 5'9" and he has like 5,000 plus receiving yards,
Insane.
you look
I
more
don't
of
care if
an
he's
amazing.
7 foot
Like,
or 5 foot. That's
what is he
insane.
doing? Like this? Like, hold on.
Just,
It is
just jump
so.
passes over the line.
I'm just gonna. Ah. And he makes it. Like, what?
Dude,
Why?
yeah.
Why are we disclosing that? Like,
Nobody ever talks about the accuracy of Drew Brees. Like nobody. Like everybody gets so lost in the championship rings
yeah.
and the accolades and the MVP. Like everybody forgets
Or the fact
how
he has
accurate
shoulder
Drew Brees
surgery.
was. Yeah, after getting it torn with San Diego, like fucking. If you've ever seen the video of him tearing that,
Yeah. And they're like,
it's fucking brutal.
get this guy
It's
out of here.
like
Get this guy out of
it's
here.
chicken
Gross.
wings and well, yeah, literally. Like and what a dumb fucking move by San Diego. Like you gave away generational talent because you wanted a guy. I mean, don't get me wrong. They got their guy in Philip Rivers, and Philip Rivers was, gosh darn it, he was cool. but
That was it. That was
but
it, though.
but right, like he wasn't. He was putting you up. He was putting you up the regular season numbers all fucking day.
Yeah.
Philip Rivers was. I mean, at one point, man, Philip Rivers in the league that he was in, he was top five QBs in the league, like without a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, he was. You think like off the top of my head, just thinking like if I just had a shot out of a cannon and not analyze it all that in depth, like in that kind of era, it was probably like Brady, the Manning brothers, Roethlisberger, and Rivers were probably like the top five right
Yeah.
off the bat that I can just fucking spit out.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, I mean, he was unfortunately, we're kind of seeing Justin Herbert become like Philip Rivers 2.0. That same fucking sense, man. It's just destiny.
They're cursed.
Yeah,
They
definitely.
they got rid of a guy that they should have kept, and it's cursed them ever since.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? On a side note, because I just realized, did I ever mention my number one defense?
No, that's I was waiting on that.
That's fair. We kind of got off a little bit, but so we
Is it
had
the
mentioned this.
2000 Ravens?
It is the 2000 Ravens. It is the only defense that I would put above the 85 Bears. Is the 2000 Ravens.
I
And
can respect it.
one aspect a lot of people don't realize, on top of Ed
Mhm.
Reed and Ray Lewis just fucking stealing souls, was that they didn't allow a single 100-yard rusher. And what's even more impressive about
Yeah.
that is in 2000, like we didn't have as developed of a passing game yet. It was still very much that like, hey, most of the league is going to be run dominant.
Mhm.
I mean, you like I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, the passing game's not, because that's not true.
Yeah.
But as a whole, it was very much more of a run heavy. We're going to run some power plays. We're going to run some traps, some
Mhm.
sweeps, etc. And like that was it. So for these guys to not allow a 100-yard rusher during that era is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, and to bring home a ring to boot, like I mean, how do you script it any better?
Yeah. No. No. And in that, I I respect that. I could definitely move my second to first and my first to second. Like they're very close. Um,
Yeah,
but in that same breath, to talk about quarterbacks really quick, I think if you move Brett Favre in his prime
yeah,
to now, or even like 10 years ago, so we're talking 2015.
yeah.
Um, I think he still succeeds, but looks like a dingus. You know,
I could feel that. I
like
could feel
like
that.
he throws too many interceptions, and he looks like a Baker Mayfield basically. That's what he looks like. Um,
You know what? I feel like Baker's going to end up winning a ring at some point,
yeah,
though.
well,
I would hope.
Brett Favre won a ring,
Yeah. I mean,
so
if the if
I
the
I think
Mr.
Baker
Mississippi,
I think Baker will too. I'm not against that, but at the same
yeah,
breath, if I think if you take um
I kind of wish Sam was here for a minute because I want to hear him explain why he thinks Tampa is going to win next season. Because I'm going to be real with you, I love Chris Godwin.
it's
Chris
it's
Godwin's a fucking stud.
it's just because he has the hat and he has a couple cards, so he's invested. I could have told you that. I,
Yeah,
I
man. I mean,
I want Tampa Bay to win because I want to see Baker Mayfield win because Baker
yeah.
Mayfield, if you don't know who
I'm
he
glad
is,
Evans got a ring at least, though. I'm very glad about that. I
yeah,
think Evans should
but
honestly retire. I think he's kind of like,
but
I mean, he's probably got maybe one decent season left in him, but that's about it.
yeah, but Baker Mayfield's fun to watch. Like
Oh, absolutely.
win or
You
lose.
can't deny it.
Like you're telling me in the Super Bowl that guy's not gonna be fun to watch. He's either gonna be a superhero and he's gonna throw like 4 touchdowns, or he's gonna throw 4 interceptions. So either
Yeah.
way, you're gonna see
He,
something.
I feel like he's more successful, more developed, Jameis Winston. But I
Mhm.
will say this: Jameis Winston is as many. Jameis Winston's one of my favorite players just because of some of the wild shit he says, and like it's just that how do you not like the eat the W deal? Like it's all around good, dude.
He's
And I mean,
he's
like you said, like
he's
he's gonna get
entertaining.
you 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Like it's
Yeah,
gonna be a roller coaster of emotions. It's gonna be
yeah.
wild.
You have to have those people that are entertaining, and then also that are plain Jane. You know,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. I mean, just by comparison.
that are the Peyton Mannings of the world. Because Peyton
Yeah.
Manning and Eli Manning were the most boring people ever. They were. Uh, even
It's hard to argue.
even though Eli Manning made some upsets, they're
Yeah.
both really
I mean, I got to
boring
tell you this
quarterbacks.
though. I got to put respect on Eli Manning
Mhm.
because if it wasn't for that, Brady would have 2 more rings. We got to respect Eli Manning for that fact.
I wish they would have got their 16-0
It
because
would have been cool, but also like fuck them.
then like I don't know. They I agree
Yeah.
and I agree and disagree because it's annoying when so many people win and win and win and win and win. I agree with that because in the NASCAR sense, Jimmy Johnson did that, but that was same but different because NASCAR changed their point system, and that's what caused Jimmy Johnson to do that. If they would have left with their same point standings, that would have never ever happened. But yeah, I the Patriots were a different breed that I don't think we'll ever see again. We won't.
No,
I don't think we'll ever see. I don't even think the Patriots will come back
I
to
don't
be.
think we'll ever see a dynasty like that again in
Yeah,
our lifetime.
we'll definitely because if you look back at history, there's always like these little like blurps. So
Yeah.
we just saw Kansas City. They'll still be around. I'm not saying they're never
But
going
it's
to.
not going to be the same
No,
dynasty as New England.
no,
Dude, you had what? 10 Super Bowl appearances for it's just there's
six.
never gonna there's no appearances.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
eight. I think to eight.
but for
Maybe.
Brady, he has what? I thought like 9 or 10, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, Brady has a ton.
It's fucking insanity. I
Yeah,
think because it's even crazier if you think about it. Tom Brady has more Super Bowl wins than any NFL franchise.
he does.
Like like how is he not the GOAT? You know
Oh
what I
no,
mean? Like
he 100% is, and people that can't understand that like they just don't like the guy, and that's fine.
yeah. I
No,
mean, and I'll be real.
no one say
There's a lot of Tom Brady hate for me, but at the same time, I'm like, he's a fucking goat. Like he just is.
But you can hate the goat. No one says that you have to like the goat. Like,
Yeah, like for sure. I
like
mean, I I'm not gonna lie. There was
yeah,
a little bit of me when I found out with the fucking the judo instructor where I was like, yeah, fuck him. But then I was like, I still gotta respect him a little bit.
like I agree. Like he he is he's so vanilla when he talks, when he carries himself. I'm just like
What a competitor though, man. Like you just can't
I'm
take it
rolling my
away from him.
eyes because he's so vanilla, and maybe he's just doing that because he's on a screen. But at the same time, like he paints a story when he talks about like how his goals are and what he does and what he wants to do and what he wants to achieve and what he did achieve
Yeah,
and all that. And that side of him, there is like some sort of fire that you can see, and it's like, wow, I can appreciate that.
yeah,
And that's the coolest part about him. So like I feel like there's a competitor in him, and then also there's a side of him whenever he gets on TV.
yeah.
He's a completely different person, and I don't know if that's because he has to or if he just doesn't want to show. I
That
don't,
facade to come
yeah, yeah,
down.
because that side of him is so like lame,
Yeah.
and I just want to see like
Uh,
I just want to see him fire off. Like you're wrong,
I
you're
will
wrong.
say though, did you see the roast of Tom Brady?
I did. That was fun.
Dude, there was at one point, who was it? One of the comedians that was on there. I'm trying to remember who, but one of them like cracked a joke and the way he just leaned over and was kind of just like, I'll fucking kill you type of shit. You're like, oh, there's that
Oh,
fire we all know.
um, I think I know what you're talking about. I don't remember who said the joke, but it was something about Robert Kraft, and and he was like like not having it at
Dude, it's something with these old white billionaires and prostitutes, man.
all.
Robert Kraft, and then you had fucking John Menard right over in our neck of the woods out here in Eau Claire. You
If
know, he likes the Asian prostitutes. It's his dealio. I mean,
if if I could be a fly, if I could be a fly on the wall on all these big people, like
yeah,
like I don't know, like
dude,
hey
it's
hey
wild to see.
like what you want to like. That's fine, but
Yeah, I mean, I'm a self-admitted freak, but I'm going to tell you what, I'm not
don't
going to be caught dead in a brothel or parlor. It's just not going to happen.
just I don't know. Either do it or don't, and just don't hide it, man. I don't know. Like
Yeah,
it's different when you have money, I guess, because you can do whatever you want. You can shut people up. You can. But hot damn, it's a funny scenario. Um,
did you ever think that like at any point Robert Kraft was just like, listen, you can suck my dick all you want, but it's not going to change anything.
no, this is what he said. You can suck my dick and it doesn't matter, but you're not gonna get any of my fucking macaroni and cheese, pal. Oh, sorry, not pal. Lady. You're not getting any of my macaroni and cheese. Not even the spirals. The shapes doesn't matter. You want those SpongeBob ones? Not happening.
Paw Patrol off the fucking
Yeah.
table.
Yeah. You a big Ninja Turtle fan? Yep. Done. Not happening. Sorry. You can go get those
Oh,
off-brand ones now at Aldi, you son of a bitch. No, not the little rabbits.
dude. Oh man, those Annie's slap though. I'm not even gonna lie.
They
Not
do.
even those. I fucking slap. I can't even deny it.
They do.
I want to.
Um, let's finish up this last little bit here.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we got the Mustard Cat Challenge, which is a 10-point possible points that you can score.
Yeah,
And it goes with me and you, me the host, you the guest. And
let's do it.
if I lose, if there's any comment in the comment section that has the most liked comments, that is a punishment. I have to do that if I lose. If I win, I don't have to do it. If you lose, it doesn't matter. Um, but if you lose, you have
No,
the.
no, let's really make this interesting.
Oh,
I want this to be fair. We're gonna do this. So if I lose,
okay.
I will also participate in said challenge.
Well,
So
fine.
whatever the punishment.
Then you have to film it.
So we're
You have to film it.
we're that's fine. We're
All right.
we're gonna be fair. This is all about equality. It's 2025.
All right. Fine. You want to hear this guy's doing the whatever it is.
We're
Put
gonna
everything
make it
down
fun.
there. Everything.
Put it all. Put it all. Every fucking vile thing you can think of.
All right.
Hate. If you hate Italian people, channel it to me. Just be like, "Fuck this Italian guy." I mean, I would hope not. I mean, you're just a racist piece of shit. But maybe you come up with a cool comment.
Make him eat cottage cheese.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Cottage
Yeah,
cheese with
yeah,
pepper. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, perfect. Doesn't matter. Whoever
Please
loses, is gonna
don't have me see an LFL game.
whoever loses, um, if there is a punishment down there, the most liked punishment, the loser has to do. We're gonna start off with Monday night NBA. Mike, I will let you choose. So last week we had three people on. Sam ditched us, so we have three
Yeah.
colors. Do you want the pink,
Ooh,
blue, or green?
I'm gonna tell you what, man. I got three daughters, and all of their favorite colors are pink. So we're gonna ride with pink.
Well, you are so lucky because pink has been the most winning one.
It's a sign, man.
For crying out loud. Hey, I'm gonna take the best one. I'm gonna take the green one because the green one has been second, and Ninja Turtles. So the blue one can just get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Toss it right on the
Side
flag.
note: who's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Shut up,
I'm a
Dave.
Raphael mine myself.
Um, shoot. If you're gonna narrow it down to I have to pick one Ninja Turtle, that's
Yeah,
ridiculous. Um, I love Michelangelo because he's a party guy. He's funny. I like that.
the party
Um,
dude, man.
I also like Leonardo because he's a leader and he's got the swords. Swords are pretty
Yeah,
badass. I
yeah,
love Raphael because he's got that attitude, but I hate that he
yeah.
has those little sigh things. Those are stupid. They're literally stupid. It's like, hey, you're holding two
Dude,
forks. Cool,
you're
man.
not. You're missing the potential, though, dude. Think about it. If he's fucking people up, and then he just sterilizes it afterwards. Now he's got like cutting utensils for his steak and pizza, dude.
Oh,
You're not seeing the big picture.
thanks, Dad. And then Donatello's definitely not there. I don't want the nerd, and he's got a stick. And then purple. That's my
It's
least
a
favorite.
staff, damn it.
Oh, sorry, it's a staff. He's purple. It's the least favorite color of mine. Crying out loud, if you're gonna narrow it down, personality wise, it's between orange and red. So Michelangelo and Raphael. But coolness factor, Michelangelo, or not Donatello, Leonardo.
I don't know. I was just about to say. I was like, you're just ripping of this fucking nerd.
Shut it. um, so in that same aspect, I go with Michelangelo, the orange one. So go with the orange one.
Okay, I
I hate the
respect it. I respect it,
I hate the nunchucks though. Hate them. Hate them.
dude. I'll tell you what. If you ever don't think nunchucks could fuck somebody up, I'm not the nunchucks guy.
They
Let
will.
me go off and let me just say that first and foremost. I am not the nunchucks guy. I I might be able to give you like an X pattern, like a basic Taekwondo kid. That's about it. But like, if you ever watch Bruce Lee fuck with some nunchucks, you're like, oh shit, I can see
Yeah.
that fucking somebody up.
Oh, Yeah, no. Nunchucks will fuck you up, and they'll fuck you up if you don't know what you're doing. Because if you're like
Yeah,
whipping around, like
100%.
you'd be an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, dude, not to mention, I mean, Bruce Lee was so good, he was playing fucking ping pong with like champion ping pong players with nunchucks. Like, I don't see a bigger flex in the ping pong community than that.
No, if you know oh man, now we're getting on.
Dude, I don't know ping
We're
pong.
getting off on fucking tangents. Oh my god, we'll say that for another thing. We'll talk about
Oh
ping
yeah,
pong.
it's
We'll
gotta
talk
be
about
for a different
we'll
day,
talk
but
about ping pong and Ninja Turtles another time.
yeah.
Even though I'd love to talk about that. That seems really fun, to be honest with
Well, I mean, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
you. People that don't like Ninja Turtles or ping pong. Uh,
Well, see, those some opinions are just wrong.
in that case, very much.
Oh fuck,
All
dude.
right.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, we got Monday night NBA. Atlanta Hawks
yes,
at
sir. Yes,
at
sir.
at Orlando Magic. Do you want me to
I
pick
mean,
first? Or do you want to pick first?
I'll tell you what. It's your show. You kick us off, and
Oh,
then do you want to do snake style pick this? We'll snake style pick.
I like that. Yeah, we can do snake style.
Okay, let's do that.
Um, so Atlanta Hawks have been little bums, but they did win recently. Orlando Magic have won me a few games, but they've also fucked me many a times. They're at home.
Yeah,
Um, it's warm down there. Not that it's not warm down in Atlanta, but it's
yeah.
really warm down in Orlando. So I'm going with Orlando.
Orlando. Yeah, I do think it's going to be a close one. I would say you're probably looking at 5 points or less, is what I would venture to say. But I am going to go with Atlanta
Okay.
because 2 words, Trey Young. I mean, and on a side note too, man, that's truly one thing I do think is if you're looking at guys throughout the NBA, like sure
Mhm.
you got guys like Wembenyama, where it's like 7'4", and I
Yeah.
mean you can't teach size, like calling it what it is. Like
Yeah.
I can sit here and talk about power forward fundamentals to a guy who's 5'8", and it's just not going to translate.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, so like your guys like Wembenyama, who are just the size guys that you can't teach. Your guys that have like, Kawhi Leonard hands where they're just going to be able to grip like nothing. Again, that's the size category. You can't teach that. You
Yeah.
got guys like Stephen Curry who are just otherworldly, who can shoot the ball from anywhere. Guys like Jokic who are just effortlessly throwing half court shots, making all these dimes left and right. Like that's the stuff you kind of can't teach. But when you're looking at fundamentals and you're looking at a guy that you can really emulate as a young player, Trey Young's that guy.
Okay.
He's 6 foot. He's like 6 foot, 6'1". And I mean, everything you watch that dude do, like, it's just from pure dedication and drive. And the fundamentals are just top notch. That's what you can teach. And I think that's what more players should emulate is Trey Young instead of the guys that are just not to take anything away from those guys. Those guys are just like freak unicorns. Trey
Yeah.
Young is as a result of a 6'1" guy, and Trey Young's been 6'1" since he was 14,
Mhm.
and that guy has just been otherworldly. Trey Young, yes.
Yes.
So that is why I'm going with Atlanta for that first one.
All right. Well, our second one on Monday is the Sacramento Kings at the Dallas Mavericks. That means you're up, pal.
Man. I mean, both of those teams lately. I mean, you look at the De'Aaron Fox deal. You look at calling it what it is, the big one with Anthony Davis and Luca. I can go off about that. We're gonna have to save that for maybe after we get your pick in. That'll turn into a tangent if we do. What a I'll just say this for now. That has to be arguably the worst fucking trade I have seen in the last 20 years. I don't know. I don't know if Jerry Jones is now running the Dallas Mavericks, but
Maybe.
Holy shit! What a terrible trade. I mean, and I'm not even like talking shit about Anthony Davis. Like, I genuinely feel like even Anthony Davis was like, "Yeah, you got to make that trade."
Do it.
uh yeah, right. Like, just wild. But with that said, I do think they're getting genuine talent in Anthony Davis, and I feel like Sacramento isn't going to be able to compensate for Anthony Davis coming in. Probably a little pissed that he got traded, and he's going to want to go the fuck off, and he will go the fuck off.
So you're going with
Um,
Mavericks?
so I'm going to go with the Mavs on that one, honestly.
Oh,
I know a lot of people wouldn't agree with that, and I totally understand where they're coming from, but I
see,
will go with Dallas on that.
I am going to ride the home team because I've been fucked over more times than not when I don't pick the home team. And since
Yeah.
you picked it, I'm riding that team. Because sometimes you gotta play the odds, pal.
I feel you. I feel you. It's all a
Um,
numbers game.
and since I have to pick next, since we're snake drafting this, we got the Boston Celtics against the Miami Heat. And listen to me here now. So, the Boston Celtics are arguably the better team in general, in stat wise. They're going to the Miami Heat, who the Miami Heat could win because it's Miami Heat. Um, it's in Miami. It's hot. Boston. It's cold. You always got to look at the hot streaks and cold streaks because those definitely affect stuff.
Yeah.
Um, it's mind fucked. You know, you're coming down cold, you're unsure, and it's warm. Obviously, you're indoors. It's basketball. It's different, way different. But it doesn't really matter. One's a red one. One's a green one. Um,
Yeah, Christmas, man. Absolutely.
I have the green marker, so I'm going with the Boston Celtics.
There we go. I I am also gonna take Boston Celtics
You can't do
for
that.
the fact and now how you fucking dick. But man, maybe that ATL game will be what it comes down to. But no, Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is one of the most top-notch players in the league right now, playing with a hot streak. Tatum and the Celtics for the win. That would be my lock and pick.
Well, why don't you riddle me this, Riddler? For our final
Riddle me
Monday,
this.
yeah, for our final Monday night NBA game, we got the Charlotte Hornets at the Brooklyn Nets. Who are you taking?
I am going Charlotte on that one.
Oh,
I'm going Charlotte, man. You gotta ride the hot hand. I mean, as much as a lot of people just fucking hate Lamar Ball, he's got some badass kids for ballers, man. And that's just what you'll find with Charlotte. So Charlotte for the win.
what frustrates me about that whole situation that you just did there? You're
What's that?
really horned in on my action.
You're really fucking me over
Yeah,
on this one.
you truly did.
I
Because,
don't know what it is,
you
but I just
know,
want to deliver one of these right in your fucking skull.
I really like the Charlotte Hornets. I like their logo. I like their colors. I like that they're in Charlotte. I like North Carolina. You can drop your phone on the ground. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
Oh, it's just out of pure protest.
But, I really wanted to pick them. And I just the Nets, the Brooklyn, it's up there about Boston.
Jay Z owns
It's
them,
Boston. They get all the wins. Boston, it's up by Philadelphia. They're like 100 miles, not even that far.
We need to review
I
geography.
drive from uh, up in North Dakota all the way to freaking La Crosse. Way longer
Yeah,
distance.
dude, that
Way
was
longer
that was.
distance than these
Let's
people
talk about that.
from Brooklyn to Philadelphia.
Why the
Ew.
fuck did you go out to North Dakota, dude? Like, I get it. Like, that was just wild. I was like, you're gonna fucking hate it. It's cold as shit. Like, there's nothing to fucking do there.
It's
Like,
basically
it's
this.
just
It's the same as every other Midwest area.
yeah,
The only difference I
yeah.
will say
Oh,
this: it's more windy. It's more windy. It's more windy.
that's what I've heard. Like,
More windy.
genuinely.
So, on that thought, I'm gonna go Hornets. I'm gonna double down with you. So basically, that Monday night's gonna come down to the Hawks and Magic game. So thanks a lot, pal. Thanks a lot. But
We got you.
now I get to
Let's see
start.
where we're at for college
I
now.
I get to start. Tuesday, NBA, Toronto Raptors and Philadelphia 76ers. I fucking hate the Raptors. You know why? Because they changed the logo. It's a stupid fucking logo. They shouldn't be in the NBA anymore because you changed it to a ball and 3 slashes. Cool. You know what? I can do that too. Dumb. I'm going to 76ers, Philadelphia. Philadelphia just won the Super
You
Bowl.
can't do that.
So
You can't
I'm
do
going.
that.
You're up.
I will also say, yeah, Philly's got a great team. I mean, offensive juggernauts. I mean, you've got the size difference there. I'm not a huge Toronto believer this season. And on top of it, like you just mentioned, and we've been talked about earlier in this podcast. I mean, Philly obviously just coming off a Super Bowl win. That city's going to be hyped.
Yes.
I'm going Philly.
And because the Toronto Raptors don't actually have Velociraptors as their players, so
Yeah, or they don't even have a real Velociraptor as their mascot, dude. How fucking lame.
oh, that's disrespectful. That team's on my shit list now. Uh, all right, you're up this time, pal. The New York Knicks at the Indiana Pacers. This is a good
Oh,
one.
dude,
He's a
dude.
good one.
So we're going New York Knicks versus the Pacers, and
Uh-huh.
I'm going to tell you what. Shout out Wisconsin. We got to do Indiana Pacers for Mr. fucking Tyrese Halliburton. Shout out to him in the Oshkosh community.
So,
Oshkosh North, baby.
so you're taking the Pacers.
I'm taking the Pacers.
All right. Well, joke's on you. I'm taking New York Knicks because you know what? New York's good for one thing, and that's the Knicks.
Let's go Knicks. I
Um,
gotta hear that fucking obnoxious ass fucking chant. I'll lose my shit. Oh my
last one
god.
on Tuesday NBA is the Detroit.
Damn.
Yeah,
I
nice
know.
one.
That's like the umpteenth fucking time. We
The
gotta get a better
Detroit
next one.
Pistons at the Chicago Bulls. I've been
Oh,
picking.
dude.
I've been picking the Chicago Bulls over and over and over, hoping for a victory, and they haven't given me.
Yeah.
But they're at home. I'm feeling confident. You're
Yeah.
wearing the Chicago's hat. I got the
Yeah.
Chicago guy on the podcast. I'm going with Chicago Bulls.
Yeah. And I honestly will say this. The Bulls,
If
the
you
Bulls
say
have
you're
had
going with
some
Chicago Bulls, I'm gonna be irate.
well, fuck down, motherfucker. I will say this. Bulls, if you do not know, just signed a pretty hot 3-point shooter. And I really do feel like that's going to be the difference maker is the quick pull-up ability on the three game. And I really feel like that is where Chicago's going to put it together. Chicago has had, man, it's been a wild season because we've had some games that we definitely should have won, and there's been some games that we won that we probably should have lost. It's been a kind of roller coaster season. With that said, love Vucevic going towards the glass. So we've got some fucking 3-point shooters that are going to be pretty wild. I will say this though, while we're on this topic, the Chicago Bulls front office has to be one of the worst in professional sports. It is fucking wild.
Just like the
It
Packers,
oh my god, it's
but
terrible.
a little
Like,
worse.
dude, like think about this. Like just to name a few big names that Chicago has had like no problem just fucking like, oh hey, could we get rid of these fucking players for next to nothing and fuck ourselves over? And it's just ever repeating, dude. Here, I'll just name like five. off just the top of my head. I know I can come up with five. Let's start with the last one. Carlos Boozer traded away. We had Jimmy Butler traded away. Derrick Rose, big one. Obviously, injuries played a
Yeah.
part in that, but regardless, like that's generational talent, and from Englewood, no less, Southside Chicago. I mean, you can't write it better than that. So there's three right there that we traded away. I can think of a few more. I just want to make sure I'm hitting like some of the bigger ones to make sure. Uh, Zach Levine, recent. That was another stupid ass one that we did. Don't know why. Um, Fuck, I would. I'm sure there's a few like other big ones I can come back and cycle to just to be like, oh yeah, duh, this is a lot bigger. But just one off the top of my head too, Laurie Markkinen. Laurie Markkinen, I have no fucking idea why they traded away. But yeah, it's just it seems like every time we really start getting some guys going. I mean, even just another one. This is obviously one of the bigger ones I had just mentioned. Like, yeah, obviously bigger. DeMar DeRozan, we had him, great centerpiece. So then we just decide like, oh, let's fucking piss away for some shitty picks. Yeah, yeah, no worries, guys. Yeah, I don't know, man. I am very not happy with the Chicago Bulls front office.
Yeah, they've been little rats. Um,
Yeah,
and it'd be nice to see them get back to top dogs because they got a
yeah,
beautiful
man. I
they got a
when they
beautiful logo and they have a nice jerseys. The black jerseys, the red jerseys, the white
Yeah,
jerseys.
even
Are
even the did you ever see the city jerseys? It's the Chicago flag with like the four blue stars on it.
no, I've
Those are
never
pretty slick
no.
too. Those are
So
they're like a light blue. The stars are red, and then it's like
yeah,
white after. It's pretty sweet.
yeah,
But yeah, they got tons of them.
yeah. Either way, so were you going with Pistons or Bulls?
I'm gonna go in Bulls because
Yeah,
I really do think that pull up three game is gonna be the difference maker, and I just feel like nothing to shit on Detroit because like they really are building something with the Pistons there too. It's just I feel like this is gonna be one of those games where Chicago just fucking pulls it together. Really like I just feel it.
well, thanks for riding the train, pal.
So correct me if I'm wrong. I think we have two different picks. There's
Yeah,
two picks that are
yeah,
not of the same.
he's right. And we got
Okay,
three to go here.
let's
And
hit
we
it.
got Tuesday college basketball. And you're up for this pick. Oop, dropped yours on the ground. Um, we got the Purdue Boilermakers.
Yep.
Boilermakers.
I'm
What a
going. I'm.
fucking what a fucking mascot. They're ranked 7 at the Michigan
Yep.
Wolverines that are ranked 24.
Yeah. I'm going with Purdue on that one.
You would be a Boilermaker. I'm gonna go the Wolverines because you know what? It's a home team.
Yeah.
Kyle's told me in the past, always go with the home team, so I'm going with the home team.
Yeah. I mean, Michigan's got a hell of a home crowd. Don't get me wrong. I feel like Purdue is
You're a
playing.
big you're a big Boilermaker guy, right?
Yeah. I fucking make the fuck out those boilers. You know. So we're all about nothing gets me harder than making boilers.
Perfect. Well, you're leaving me no choice.
Oh.
We got the Florida Gators who are ranked 6
Yep.
at the
Yep.
Mississippi State Bulldogs who are ranked 22. And I'm not an idiot.
Yes, sir.
I'm not an idiot. I know anything about animals. I know alligators. They eat dogs all the time. Small dogs, big dogs, doesn't matter. They eat them all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm taking the alligators all day.
Yeah. I dude, I mean your logic is flawless. Gators eat bulldogs all day. No, but
Are you taking them?
I'm saying in Florida. Yeah, I just feel like they're gonna get it done against fucking the Bulldogs, man. Correct
You're
me if I'm wrong. I think our last pick is the Kentucky game. Yeah,
you're taking the alligators?
for the against Mississippi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
taking Florida. against
Yeah.
Mississippi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the last one falls on probably arguably the most diabolical, stupid team that I fucking hate. Um, truly do. The Tennessee Volunteers, who are ranked 4 at the
Yes.
Connecticut Wildcats, who are ranked 14. And I truly do not like the Tennessee Volunteers because I think that's literally, you could have any other mascot. What is a volunteer?
Yeah.
What is a volunteer? It's a person that just volunteers. So your mascot is a person that just volunteers. That is dumb. That
Ooh, shit.
like I don't, I'm baffled. They have it at the college level. They have it all. I
Hey,
football,
sh-
basketball.
shout out though. Are you familiar with Nakusa in Wisconsin here? The town of Nakusa.
Yeah,
This is no bullshit. You can look this up if you don't believe me. Their mascot is the paper makers,
paper
the
makers.
Nakusa paper makers, and
So
even better than that,
they make paper.
I yeah, dude, that whole town. Okay, so
Hey,
everybody from
hold,
Nakusa is gonna
hold,
be like, it's not that bad. It smells
hold,
like shit there. It's terrible.
hold on. I can justify the name paper makers over
Yeah.
volunteers because I feel like there's a better, like you're saying your whole college is driven off of
They're just
like
like,
I'll volunteer. What? You can't pick an animal. You can't pick
yeah.
a shape. Like it could be the volunteer
What if
circles,
it was like,
the volunteer, like anything else.
who's
You
gonna
could
be our
you
who's
could
gonna
pick.
be our shooting guard? I volunteer.
This guy's on the volunteers. I hate it. I truly hate
So,
it. I don't
so
like it.
Volunteers versus Kentucky Wildcats, though,
Who you
and
taking?
I'm taking the Wildcats, man. I think that's gonna be my upset. That's gonna be my upset. I'm going Wildcats.
Well, guess what, pal? Even though I fucking hate them, I'm taking the volunteers. Goddamn volunteers better fucking volunteer their ass to the win.
Pull it together. Yeah, I think Kentucky at home. I'm going Kentucky.
Oh, that's frustrating. That is frustrating. I truly do not enjoy seeing the volunteers on there ever. Um, all right. That's the game. We'll find out. Leave a comment down there as a punishment because whoever loses has to do it. Because Mike said he's going to do a punishment too.
Yeah, I've got to. It's only fair. I'm
Um,
offering this up now, so regardless,
yeah.
it's a competition.
Mike, do you have any other thoughts or anything else you would like to say before we end this bad boy?
Huh. What are we talking about life in general? Are we talking about the
Well, we're not going to.
Super Bowl? And we've covered a plethora of topics
I
here
know.
today.
We're talking more or less the Chiefs Eagles, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I mean, I will say play what let me ask you this because I genuinely want to know what you think. Play of the game for you, what would it be?
Jesus, now you put me on the fucking spot. Thanks a lot, pal.
I
Uh,
know it's one of
play
the
play
questions
of the
we need.
game. Um, honestly, probably the only tush push that was there. There was one tush push.
It was pretty legit. I feel
Uh,
like that really fucks Chris Jones up too.
Yeah,
Like genuinely, I
yeah.
feel like that put a damper on that defense.
So I feel like that tush push really not ended it, but made it apparent.
Yeah.
Besides that, I don't know, just the defense. The Eagles defense
I,
was there. They were
I
there.
think that I think that Cooper DeJean pick six
That helped.
was like that was that moment where I was like,
the
holy shit, they're
the
gonna do this.
the
Like that
dagger.
was that moment. Yeah,
I was
like
just the
sports
only thing
are
I was worried about was the second half. That was the only thing I was worried about. But
yeah. I mean, dude, and every failed white athlete in America was like, yeah, white guy.
if he can do it, I can do it.
Like, no, you can't. You really can't. Cooper DeJean is built different.
That's true. Um,
Oh,
well, hey Mike, thanks for coming on.
thanks
Uh,
for having me.
we will have you back on, pal. Maybe we'll have you on with Michael and Ryan. Stir you up a little bit.
Oh, I'm all for it.
Those guys like stirring the pot, so.
Hey,
And I know
I'm
I
all
always,
for it.
I know
We're
I
cooking in
always,
the kitchen.
I always say Michael and Ryan, but those guys stir people up, and I like it. So we'll try and navigate that. But hey, I appreciate you coming on. We'll definitely have you back on. Maybe with Michael and
I,
Ryan, maybe not. Who knows?
yeah, we'll work it out. We'll figure it all out.
But either way, everyone else, go follow everything Mustard Cat Sports on everything that is anything social media. Just find Mustard Cat Sports. And then don't forget we have a website. That's www.mustardcats.com. Other than that, we'll see you later. The Eagles won. Suck it, Chiefs. Me later.